think the more important thing to talk about is the Tigers didn't go win now players with their first couple picks, right? Sometimes you see teams that are in a window of competing for a World Series. They'll draft guys that are going to be on the team within a year. Scott Harris is sticking to his guns, and he's been great at development so far, so why not keep drafting these high schoolers? Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental in Midland. As someone who was born and raised here, I would like to introduce myself by offering my services as your family dental provider. At Scott Family Dental, our mission is to provide excellent and personalized care using the latest technologies and best practices. Our highly trained and personable staff ensure you will feel comfortable along the way.
Dr. Scott is accepting new patients at 2509 West Wackerly Street next to the US 10 on-ramp. Scott Family Dental, let's bring out your best smile together.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know the pervasive use of technology can lead to digital eye strain, burning or tired eyes, headaches, fatigue, loss of focus, blurred or double vision. Overexposure light from electronic devices may also increase the likelihood of developing serious eye conditions such as age-related macular degeneration. To give your eyes a rest, remember 20-20-20. Every 20 minutes, take a 20-second break and look at something 20 feet away. This message brought to you by Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and now on East Washington in Freeland.
Timeout.
All right. Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. Appointment radio across the state.
Remember that.
Hello, and welcome into the Ben Bosscher Show. Happy Monday to the Great Lakes Bay region. Happy Monday to everyone live on YouTube as well. We've got a big show planned out for everyone. We're officially at the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. Home Run Derby tonight, All-Star game tomorrow, and then the Tigers are off for a couple of days. But the Tigers are going into the break on a 4-game losing streak. We're going to dive into that in just a second. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Kyle Sandel behind the glass today. We've got a fun show planned out. Of course, Mondays, as always, Stock Market Exchange. That's coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. We've got an Around the League to get to in the 10 o'clock hour. We'll work in a little bit of Lions as training camp starts this week. Rookies report on Wednesday. Everybody else reports on Saturday. You guys know how we close out every show. How I like to open every Monday, though. 1 to 10, Kyle. Sports weekend. I'd give it like a 6.
A 6?
Yeah.
What's making it worth a 6?
No, honestly, you make a good point. Like, Wimbledon, I think, was a hit. It was a hit. Everyone seemed to like it. I didn't watch 1 second of it. I'm not a big tennis guy.
Then why
yet.
is it a 6?
That's a good point.
What positively happened? It's like a 3 or 4.
Josue DePaula hit a home run and won MVP in the Futures game. That was
that
pretty
adds
cool.
like 2 points.
Okay, then a 5. It's like a 5. It wasn't great.
Okay.
There wasn't a whole lot that happened. Summer League was on. That was fun. Some Major League Baseball. Caitlin Clark came back, so that was cool. Played
It's
twice.
like a 3.
Okay.
I'll take every football weekend from September to January over this weekend that we just had.
Below average, then, we're saying
Yes.
this sports weekend was. Hey, that doesn't mean we're not going to have a fun show today. Speaking of that, let's jump right in. The Tigers are going into the All-Star break on a 4-game losing streak. But I think this 4-game losing streak had purpose in terms of the timing of it going into the break. There's going to be a sour taste in Scott Harris's mouth for the next week. I learned a lot over the course of the last 4 days. I learned a lot over this 4-game losing streak, probably more so than I've learned about this Tigers team in quite some time. First of all, Parker Meadows, in dire need of this All-Star break. If not, an even bigger conversation about Parker Meadows needs to be had. Struggling would be an understatement when it comes to Parker Meadows over the past 2 months. The other thing I learned was I might be a little bit nervous about running into Seattle in the postseason. Seattle's 2-4 versus the Tigers now in the season, and have gotten the best of Tarek Skubal not once but twice. Those 4 guys at the top of their lineup is not a joke. They've got some serious bats. They've got some serious arms. Seattle, now the number 1 team I would least want to see in the postseason. And third of all, that little sliver of hope that the bullpen gave us at the beginning of July, toss that up, throw it out the window. Because what the bullpen did this weekend was nothing short of a disaster. From Canely to Vest to Hannafy to Holton, every single person that they throw out there, Chase Lee, Kyler Montero, was a mess. This team gave up 35 runs against Seattle just this weekend. 35 runs against this Mariners team, who, again, I do think is the Tigers' biggest threat in the American League. Now, if you look at the standings right now, it's Houston that's knocking on the door of that number 1 seed. And I'm not saying, hey, Houston's not a team to take seriously, but there's something about the Seattle team where they have damaged Tigers pitching in a way that no one else has this season. Tigers swept for the first time since they opened up the entire season in LA. They opened the first half and closed the first half by getting swept. So, of those 3 things that we learned, bullpen still being a disaster, Seattle now being the team that I at least, fear is not the right word, but the team I'd least want to see, similar to the way that I didn't fear Philadelphia, but it was the team I didn't want to see for the Lions in the postseason. Learn that. And the Parker Meadows thing. We're going to need to have a little bit deeper of a conversation about Parker Meadows later on in the show, but he desperately just needs to go clear his head, sit on the bench. Like, if we weren't at the break, I would actually argue, hey, maybe give Parker Meadows a couple days off here, because he's swinging at stuff that has no right to be swung at, predetermined swinging, kind of useless in the box right now. And then he started making mental errors in the outfield this weekend too. Now, neither of the 2 plays I'm referring to got deemed errors, but there was 2 plays this weekend, one on Friday, one on Sunday, that just were unexcusable for a guy that we all consider to be this golden glove type of outfielder. So, Kyle, am I missing anything? Did we learn one other thing about this Tigers team? Because, again, they go into the break on a 4-game losing streak, and I actually don't think it's the worst thing, because it allows us to take these glasses off, these blue and orange glasses off, that we've been wearing for quite some time. Hey, this is the best team in baseball, best record, this huge lead in the AL Central, 11.5 games right now, even after the 4-game losing streak. I think that blinded some Tigers fans to the point where a lot of people viewed this team as somewhat flawless, when that is not the reality of things. They are still one of the best teams in baseball. They still have the best record in baseball, 1 game ahead of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have lost 7 of their last 9 games. But I do think there is some purpose here in terms of Tigers fans learning a lot about this team. And I do think going into the break, Scott Harris having that little sour taste in his mouth isn't the worst thing. Not to say that this losing streak is going to change what they're doing at the trade deadline here in a couple weeks, but it's certainly going to make him examine things a little bit harder and maybe keep him up a little bit later at night thinking, hey, maybe I do need to be just a slightly more aggressive here at the deadline. Maybe I do need to be willing to give up some of these top prospects, because we're going to need to revamp this bullpen in a way that I didn't necessarily think we were going to have to a couple of weeks ago. Everyone knew they were going to add an arm, but now you're looking around this bullpen, it's like, all right, if we can't trust Tommy Canely out there, maybe we need to invest in several new arms in the bullpen, maybe even a starter as well. I don't think it is the worst thing how they ended the season. I'm just trying to look at it glass half full, you know? I'm trying to take some positives out of a 4-game losing streak. You still have this 11.5 game lead over Minnesota. You still got a 2.5 game lead over Houston for the best record in the American League. These losses were affordable. How can you spin them positively? We learned a lot, and I think it's putting a little bit of pressure on Scott Harris to make a bigger decision here in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew a series like this was coming. Not being swept since the very first series of the season, that's not going to sustain. You're going to get swept at some point. You could argue that this time in the season is probably the best part for it to happen, right? You get to regroup over the break. To your point about the bullpen, it's the biggest one. 23 runs allowed just by the bullpen in these 3 games. 23. I mean, we talked about Skubal and Mize had off days or whatever, but man, you can't have the bullpen do that combined with those off days. And the Seattle matchup isn't very favorable. We discussed it even prior to the series about how their pitching staff was so deep, and they do have the combination, like their top half of their lineup is very good. But yeah, it's hard not to look at this the way that you are because they're still the best team in baseball. They still have such a comfortable lead where you can afford to take one of these series and be like, okay, let's relook at this group and be like, what is the spots that really we need to hone in on over this break? And now they have that ability to do that.
989-837-6125. I want to know what you guys learned about this Tigers team over this 4-game losing streak. I don't think it's quite time to panic. That's not what I'm doing. The panic button's way over there. We're not even looking at the panic button right now. But we are examining this team a little bit further and a little bit more truthfully going into the All-Star break because of these 4 losses. I think it highlighted some of the Tigers' flaws, which isn't a bad thing. Because again, like, compare it to this Lions team. I know we've done this 100 times, and maybe this isn't the best way to view it compared to a baseball team and a football team, but the Lions were so fantastic in the regular season that I think going into the postseason, we kind of glossed over some of their flaws, especially with how many injuries there were heading into the postseason. You know, you thought, oh, it's just a Commanders team, rookie quarterback. I'm guilty of it too. But then you look at this defense, looking back, it's like, I don't know why anyone would have expected them to win multiple playoff games in the NFC with how many injuries they were dealing with on defense. Now, there's not as many injuries. There's really no injuries for this Tigers team right now. But again, their record has been so good. Their win-loss record has been so fantastic. They have such a comfortable lead in the American League and in the AL Central that I think fans sometimes gloss over some of the team's flaws. And the flaws, I think, got highlighted very, very bright, to say the least, this weekend against Seattle. They get swept for the first time since the Open. Michael Prevey let us know in the chat, Tigers got swept by Seattle in 1984. We all know how the season ended in 1984. I'm not saying that's not possible, right? Like, I still believe in this Tigers team. I still would take them against any team in the American League once they get through the postseason or once they get to the postseason. But Seattle, probably the number 1 team I'm picking of teams I don't want to play. Parker Meadows, we're going to need to have a conversation about him coming up. Because if the Tigers want to be serious and taken seriously, which they are, like, let's not get that twisted, they can't have someone who's an auto out in the lineup. They eliminated most of those over the past 2 years. Parker Meadows is creeping back into a territory that is about to get real awkward if things don't turn around post-deadline. And again, this bullpen, we had a sliver of hope at the beginning of July. Holton had 5 straight starts that were scoreless. Hannafy had looked better as of late. All that thrown out the window versus Seattle. Canely destroyed. Vest, not his best stuff. Tyler Holton gave up a home run in both of his appearances. Even the starters, Skubal and Mize, gave up 10 combined runs. This Seattle team just has the Tigers' number. So what did you learn? That's what I learned. What did you learn from this weekend against Seattle? 989-837-6125. We'll get to some texts in that conversation about Parker Meadows. When we come back, it is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
When someone asks me, when is the best time to start saving for retirement, my answer is simple. Today. I'm Kevin Spencer, your Midland Edward Jones financial advisor. I can help you build a plan for your ideal retirement by identifying your unique goals and keep you on track to achieve them. The sooner you get started, the better.
Edward Jones financial advisor Kevin Spencer at 416 West Wackerly in Midland, under the green awning. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com. From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader. Scrolling? Make it count. Want local sports content that actually matters? Yeah. 100.9 The Mitt is loaded with local highlights, viral plays, breaking sports news, and takes you can't get enough of.
It's hot!
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube today, and you'll never be out of the loop on the Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings, Michigan, Michigan State, and even the biggest stories in high school sports in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the MHSAA, are the 292,000 high school sports students in Michigan. And so we stand. We stand for the runners, soccer and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, administrators, and officials. We stand for the swimmers, football players, and wrestlers. We stand for the golfers, softball, and volleyball players. We stand as the national leader and advocate for high school athletics and all who participate in them and make them possible. Because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. This is Ben Bosscher live on 100.9 The Mitt. Kyle Sandel producing behind the glass today. Let's get to a couple Mitt messages here. You guys can't pump your chest and get cocky about the Tigers having the division wrapped up at this time of the year. I keep telling you guys to pump the brakes. The Tigers got embarrassed, bullied, and laughed at by the Mariners, who were previously swept by the Yankees. Twins led the Tigers by 11 games around this time last year, self-imploded, and missed the playoffs.
I mean, fair point about last year, but also last year was an anomaly, right?
Yeah, last year was the 0.2% chance to make the playoffs. Look, I don't envision this Tigers team imploding the way that Twins team did, and it feels like with how far back the Twins are, they're looking to sell here at the deadline. So I acknowledge the point about the Tigers did something improbable, but I'd be pretty shocked if that happened back-to-back seasons. You know what I mean? But
I would be shocked.
But to be fair, the Tigers did, in fact, get laughed at by the Mariners. Like, Julio Rodriguez, after hitting that home run yesterday, was like truly laughing at this entire Tigers team when he was lapping the bases. That guy really pissed me off this weekend because he enters the series with a OPS below 700 and just dominates this Tigers team and is really cocky about it. Which, have your fun.
That's the type of player he is, though.
I know. And as I'm watching it, the only reason I got upset about it is because, I wish this guy was on the team I root for. You know what I mean? He's got a little bit of juice to him. He's got that gravitational pull.
On the show last week, did the whole Julio Rodriguez is overrated thing, essentially.
Nope. I mean, I did, and then it turns out the answer is
right.
Nope, that's just not the case. Even has like a nice defensive play and guns Gleyber Torres down at third base
all
yesterday.
around, man. Seattle just their lineup, their pitching staff. I mean, I know they give up a good amount of runs to the Tigers, but it didn't matter.
No,
they had the giant lead in every game. The comeback win yesterday, like
it felt
they did
like the two best teams in the American League were playing. And if there was no records shown on the score bug, you would definitely think
games.
Seattle is the better
Like the
team.
Tigers didn't feel like one of the best teams in the American League this weekend.
No, because
Seattle
their
dominated
bullpen was. I mean, they gave up 35 runs. You're never going to look like the best team in baseball if you give up 35 runs.
I can't get
over
over
the course
23
of 3 days.
runs from the bullpen. That just is a fake number. That's over 7 runs a game just from the bullpen.
And most of that, it feels like, came from Tommy Kahnle, who now
no
in
outs,
July
give up 7 runs.
Yeah, no outs, 7 runs is pretty crazy. Not as crazy though as his just July numbers in general. 6 games, a 46 ERA, a 6.8 WHIP, and has only recorded 7 outs. Listen, man, I loved Tommy Kahnle for the first few months. It felt like I didn't understand how, but that changeup was unhittable. And similar to the way that the Mariners attacked Skubal, they just lit Tommy Kahnle up. They attacked everything that he threw, and really rattled him. Like, he shaves his entire body every time he gives up a run.
Yeah, I saw a tweet that said he's going to be bright red this morning.
Still such a strange
he had a sub-2 ERA going into July, and he's up to a 4.5 2 weeks into the month.
Double your ERA 2 weeks in. Yeah, not great. Not
Unreal.
great. And those 4 guys at the top of the lineup, too, in J.P. Crawford, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and Cal Raleigh. First of all, we talk about the Tigers' depth.
It's a really good top 4.
I don't know if the Tigers quite have, like, the Mariners don't quite have the depth that the Tigers do, because you look at their not 8-9 hitters on some nights, the Tigers. It's like Zach McKinstry and Javi Baez, and I mean, all-star bats. But that 4, you might take over any other 4 in the American League, no?
It's a debate, especially the way they're hitting this week.
Right. So, yeah, those 4 guys just this season, limited at bats, but are hitting .315 against Tarik Skubal. They've had his number. It's one of the rare teams that has had Tarik Skubal's number this season. All right, let's circle back to what we had hinted at in the first segment, which is the Parker Meadows thing. I would say, 2 weeks after Parker Meadows returns, we sat here and said, we're not having a conversation about Parker Meadows, but we're having a conversation about when to have that conversation about Parker Meadows, and he instantly hits a home run and shuts us all up. Well, since Parker Meadows came back at the very beginning of June, he's hit 2 doubles, and that's it. He's a sub-200 hitter with a 545 OPS. And that would be one thing. But the fact that he is striking out 30% of his at-bats, that parlays into something that is nothing short of Parker Meadows is a liability in the lineup right now. And Riley Green is striking out more than just 30% of his at-bats. So it's not like, hey, you strike out this much, enormous problem. The problem is if you're going to strike out that much, you can't have a batting average of 193, right? They take him out of that starting lineup spot, the leadoff spot, I should say. Yeah, they take him out of that. Cole Keith's now the leadoff versus right-handed pitching, and Parker Meadows has kind of been, inserted into the 7 spot, the 8 hole on any given night. He can't hit breaking balls right now. You throw him a pitch inside and low, and he's going to swing at it. It's like he can't help himself right now. It's not quite as bad as the Javi Baez throw it outside and away, and he's just going to chase it. But there is some reminiscence of it because you throw him that down and in pitch, and it feels like he's just determined to go golfing. Some of these at-bats, you throw him 3 pitches in the exact same spot. It's swing, miss, swing, miss, swing, miss. Some of the worst at-bats you'll see of the season. And then this weekend, both on Friday and on Sunday, just mishaps in the outfield. Yesterday, him and Riley Green, ball just drops right in between them. And Riley kind of just, it looked like a lack of communication, but, the center fielder always kind of calls off the people at the corners. And I don't know if there was just purely a lack of communication or Parker Meadows didn't see it, but stuff that just can't happen if you're contributing almost nothing on offense and also considered to be this Golden Glove, like 1% caliber outfielder, which I still think he has in him. I'm not saying that this guy's a bust or anything like that. We've seen Parker Meadows be an effective player. I know it's in there somewhere. But right now, it feels like every time he goes up to the plate, it's an automatic out. And if he's going to have those mishaps on defense too, okay, then why are you playing right now? Now, we can have the argument of like, send him down to AAA. But again, let's use this All-Star break as maybe a reset. But if we come back from the All-Star break and it's still this for 2 to 3 weeks, there is some sort of conversation that needs to be had of why is he in the lineup every day if the Tigers are truly trying to get to the World Series. They've got the replacements for him. They've got 4 guys on this team that can play center field, including him. And then you've got Green, Perez, and Vierling, all options to put in center. I guess you could put Zach McKinstry out there too, even though they haven't done that yet this season. But again, it's a lot of strikeouts. He's not walking a lot. He's not making good contact with the ball. I would say if he comes back from the break and is this version of himself after 2 weeks, maybe there is some benefit of sending him down and letting him just kind of get his confidence back up at the AAA level, because we saw that happen last season, and he comes back and is this 4.5 tool player that we all kind of, dreamed that he could be. He was a super effective player for the second half of last season. That hasn't been the case since he's come back from this nerve injury at the beginning of June. The problem is there's no one really knocking on the door in AAA that you want to get some run. Maybe that's a Jace Young, but again, I don't know why Jace Young would ever be in the starting lineup. You're calling someone up to not really play if that's the case, even if it's a Ryan Kreidler or someone who's already been up a few times. So this Parker Meadows thing, I think, is something to monitor. There is certainly no one that is more in need of this All-Star break than him. I think he just needs a couple days or a week or so to clear his head,
right?
Go do whatever you got to do, go back home, spend time with the family, and just come back fresh, man. Because he's clearly in his own head right now. He's swinging at everything. He's predetermined, letting it rip. It feels like he's trying to overcorrect his slump by crushing the ball. And we've heard Colt Keith talk about this when he was in his little bit of a slump. It's like, that's the worst thing you can possibly do. Just try to
like
line
the
up.
golf swing, man.
Yeah, it's like you just trying to murder. Just line
You're
up.
slicing everything. And I'm just going to crush this one, and it's going to fix everything.
Just make good contact. And it feels like Parker Meadows is nowhere near good contact right now.
Well, to your point of there's no one in AAA to come up, you're right, but there's a guy on the injured list that's about to come back, and Kerry Carpenter. Whose spot is
good point
is lose. Like he's going to replace either Sweeney or Meadows. And if you decide to put Javi Baez back out in center more, if Parker Meadows needs a break, Trey Sweeney's needed. So that definitely could be the situation where Kerry Carpenter comes back post All-Star break, replaces Parker Meadows, and he gets some run in AAA because it seems like he kind of needs that right now.
Michael Preby says in the chat, the way J-Rod played this weekend, I think the Tigers need to trade for him. He hasn't played like that all season. Yeah, I don't think the Mariners are in the market to be trading anybody right now. We got one text that said Parker Meadows is playing better than Vierling right now. If you look at the raw numbers, yes, Vierling is a 158 hitter with a on-base percentage of...
Has played much less.
Yeah, 38 at-bats. On-base percentage of less than 300. OPS of less than 490. So, yeah, his raw numbers are not as good as Meadows, but he's not like the automatic strikeout machine. He's at least having decent at-bats. You think that's going to get corrected. The Parker Meadows strikeouts are what's really bothering me.
Yes. We're also just not taking into consideration they could also trade for a bat as well. This is under the assumption that they're not going to trade for any position players.
I'm
not saying that they're going to, but there's a chance.
Table. What position would it be?
A left side infielder that we've talked about.
So you're just trying to rule out Zach McKinstry of an everyday player? Like,
there's a chance they make a trade for a guy.
No,
I'm saying.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I guess I would just be surprised if they. I'm way more into trading for as many arms as possible than I am.
And I would assume
bats.
they are too.
They're not as much in need of a bat, even with the Parker Meadows thing. Because again, you can just kind of move some guys around. Kerry Carpenter comes back, and that problem's fixed. Again,
there's just some teams that are willing to sell a lot of guys. A pitcher and a bat.
Correct, in a package. I'm never willing to just be the guy that's like, no, we're all set. But the way AJ Hinch likes to maximize his roster in every single roster spot there is, the Tigers just have a lot of versatility right now in their lineup in terms of what they can do. It's malleable, and they're not just going to trade for a bat just because the numbers are good. You know what I mean? So we'll see. All right, let's put a pin in the Tigers conversation and hit the news.
The Mitt's Morning Catch.
All right, Ben, we got
Kyle.
a ton of news to get into based off of the busy sports weekend we had, the 6 out of 10 sports weekend, like you said, right?
Yeah, the more I think about it, maybe it wasn't quite a 6, unfortunately.
Let's talk about some MLB draft stuff. Before we do the Tiger stuff, let's talk about the University of Michigan. They become the first school ever to have a first-round selection in each of the same year's NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB drafts. First school ever to do this.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible stuff. It's an everything school, right? I don't have much else to say other than that. Like,
it's pretty cool.
It's not as much of a football school anymore as it is just, this is just a school that has above average programs in basically everything. This team, they don't suck at any of the sports that matter.
Yeah, it's very impressive for them, for sure. Tigers draft, though. A couple high school bats and a couple college arms in the first 2 rounds. They go Jordan Yost, a left-handed bat, shortstop from Florida, high schooler in the first round. And then they go Michael Oliveto, a left-handed bat, catcher from New York. And then they take 2 college pitchers, Malachi Witherspoon, a righty from Oklahoma, and Ben Jacobs, a lefty from Arizona State.
You think Scott Harris likes these left-handed bats? I mean, gracious, man. Every single one of his first-round picks has been a left-handed bat between Clark and McGonigal, and then these 2 guys yesterday. Left-handed bats out of high school seem to be Scott Harris's thing. And you know what? I trust that he's going to figure these guys out. He clearly sees something in them. It feels like the consensus was they reached pretty heavily on both of these guys, but what does reaching even mean in the Major League Baseball draft? You know what I mean? Like, if a guy...
The draft rankings are the most obscure out of any pro league draft, I would say.
Like, their first-round pick, Yost, I saw on The Athletic was ranked 72. I'm sorry, man. I trust Scott Harris more than I do whoever wrote that Athletic article. Nothing against that guy. I'm sure he's doing all his homework on this upcoming draft, but I'm just going to trust Scott Harris and any GM a little bit more than I am with these Athletic guys.
Too. Yeah. And as far as the top of the draft goes, the Nationals, a bit of a surprise. They take Eli Willits with the number 1 pick, a shortstop, a high schooler as well. And then the Angels pass on Cade Anderson, who fell from number 1. Instead, they take UC Santa Barbara pitcher Tyler Bremner at number 2. I already saw a meme that was like, they're going to have Tyler Bremner start Friday after the All-Star break because the Angels are just notorious for this stuff.
Calling their guys up.
But yeah,
too
Cade
fast.
Anderson falls to 3, and Ethan Holiday falls to 4. Those 2 are seem to be the consensus 1 and 2 in the draft.
But again, back to the point I just made. Doesn't it feel like every year the consensus top 5 does not go in the order that it's supposed to go? Which leads me
a lot
back
of it
to
comes down to the bonus that they're going to be paid and their draft slot. A lot of it comes down to money.
Fair.
Which is pretty interesting.
Fair.
Let's move on to Wimbledon. We talked about it earlier. Jannik Sinner gets his revenge on Carlos Alcaraz to win in Wimbledon, the rematch of the French Open earlier this year where Alcaraz defeated Sinner.
I'm pretty sure I read that these 2 guys have both beaten each other, and they're the only guys professionally to have beat, like, both of them are undefeated except against each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I didn't watch any of this. I'm not a huge tennis person quite yet. We're just scratching the surface of golf.
This is like the magic bird of current tennis.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
I mean, it might be. I don't know. Let's talk about some NBA Summer League stuff. The Mavericks have shut down Cooper Flag for the rest of Summer League. Boo. Just kidding. I mean, obviously you saw this coming. Really good game, though, today. 30-plus points after the 10-point game against Bronny and the Lakers. But he's done for the rest of the summer.
I got nothing.
Some Red Sox stuff. 10-game winning streak for Boston, their longest since 2018.
R.I.P. to the Aroldis Chapman playing in the English D jersey. Dream. I'd really been thinking about that.
Or any of them.
Yeah, it's just not happening anymore. Look at that. You get rid of your locker room cancer, your dugout cancer, and Rafael Devers, and you instantly start winning. Crazy how that works.
It is crazy. Let's do my favorite part of the news today. Connor Stalions back in the news because he just needs the attention, man. He just can't stay out of it.
I have no idea where you're going with this. I didn't see anything.
He posted on social media that he knew most of the signals in 7 games while he was with Michigan. He was basically, this is a direct quote from Connor Stalions. There were 7 games in my time at Michigan where I knew almost every signal the whole game. 2021 MSU, 22 MSU, 22 Penn State, 22 Ohio State, 2022 TCU, 2021 Georgia, and 2021 Wisconsin.
Hey, man, say whatever you want about Connor Stalions. This guy was dedicated to his craft.
And he doesn't care. That's the part that shocks me. He's just open about all this.
That Untold on Netflix, which is a great series.
Not that one.
I do think it's fascinating.
It's propaganda.
It's definitely propaganda because he's like, oh, I don't know, I didn't do anything wrong. When clearly you did something wrong, but he was so dedicated to cracking all these signals. I did think it was fascinating how detailed his Excel sheets and he is a genius. I'll give him that, man. The way he had this thing organized in terms of he's something, yeah.
I don't know about a genius.
He's definitely a genius. He's just an evil genius.
Right, I don't know about that.
Let's
do
I don't
some
like
bad
talking
news.
about him anymore.
Quinshon Judkins, rookie running back of the Cleveland Browns, arrested on domestic violence charges. Tough look for the rookie.
So, I have some thoughts on this. Judkins is one of 2 second-rounders to not have a contract signed. Unsigned. So, he gets arrested without an NFL contract. My first question when I read this was, what the hell were you doing in Fort Lauderdale 2 weeks before Browns training camp begins? Actually, 4 days before Browns training camp begins. Begins in 4 days. And he's out in Fort Lauderdale without a contract. Why are you not in Cleveland trying to figure this out? Oh, he's back at home, training. No, he's not. He's from Alabama. And we all know what happens in Fort Lauderdale. I've been to Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
Anyone out there listening that's been to Fort Lauderdale knows what goes down in Fort Lauderdale. You go there to party. You go there to have a good time. What on earth is this guy doing down in Fort Lauderdale this close to training camp beginning without a contract? This is the most Browns thing ever. Ever.
It really is.
You don't have your second
Especially
round
when the
pick
other Ohio State
signed?
running back. Yeah.
And then he does this to himself. By the way, Trey Harris is the other second rounder who hasn't been signed yet, and that might have some implications for this Hall of Fame game because deadline's coming up to get this guy done.
It is.
Not that really mattered. I just couldn't believe it. This is the most Browns thing ever, man.
It really is. All right, a couple more quick notes and we'll end the news. Josue DePaula, right here in the building at Dow Diamond, wins the Futures Game MVP on Saturday. Had a big-time homer out to right field. Shout out to Josue, man.
Some fiery language rounding the bases, too, mic'd up.
Yes.
It was great.
Tarek Skubal is selected as the starter for the All-Star game. I assume we'll get into the details of this a little bit more. Yankees kind of making it about themselves, though, a little bit.
Oh, man. Who would have thought?
Kind of weird.
That's crazy. The Yankees are making it about themselves.
Last thing, Terry Francona becomes the 13th manager in MLB history to reach 2,000 career wins. Got it with Cincinnati this weekend. Bruce Bochy, the lone other current manager to have 2,000 wins.
There you go. 989-837-6125. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Great Lakes Loons are coming off 9 consecutive games at home, a homestand against the Whitecaps and the Lugnuts. Took 2 of 3 from West Michigan 2 weeks ago. Lansing took 4 of 6 from the Loons this past week, but still some great offensive performances, including Cameron Decker, who had 5 hits on the week, including 2 homers, 1 on Tuesday and 1 on Sunday. The lone Loons run on Sunday afternoon.
35-19.
Oh, as Decker swings, puts it in the air to deep left. Does he have another this week? Oh, yeah. Decker, dinger in the 9th. Loons on the board, avoid getting shut out. It's the All-Star break, so the Loons won't be in action until Friday. They're out in Dayton, Ohio to take on the Dragons. First pitch, 7:05 on the Mitt.
It is the Scholar Athlete of the Month, proudly presented by Fisher Companies here on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. This month's recipient is Logan Snyder from Bullet Creek High School. With a 3.94 GPA, Logan's a member of the varsity golf team, revitalizing a program that was dormant when he was a freshman 4 years ago. Logan great at golf and in the classroom, and also volunteers, including at the Midland Miracle Field.
I love working with those kids, and it's always so much fun to see them getting to play the game we all get to love to play. Just getting to see them going up to bat, hitting the ball, no matter how far it goes, and they're just super excited. It just warms my heart every time.
Logan will be attending Ferris State in the fall and plans to study in their PGA Golf Management program. To hear the full interview and nominate a local athlete for our scholarship program, visit 1009themid.com.
Now, wait a second, Sharon. So the Midland Area Community Foundation runs the Midland Area Santa House?
You bet we do.
And Midland Area River Days?
Absolutely.
Plus scholarships for students and grants for local nonprofits? That's like hitting the cycle and impacting our community.
Anyone can step up to the plate and help build community capital for as little as $5.
$5? That's the cost of a snack at the ballpark. How do I get in the game?
Just visit MidlandFoundation.org and make a gift to our community investment fund. Every dollar makes a difference.
Join the team. Give today at MidlandFoundation.org.
At First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, floors don't just get coated, they get a makeover. Epoxy's so tough, it shrugs off spills, stains, and even your wildest dance moves. Garages, workshops, anywhere you want a floor that's smooth, shiny, and just a little bit sassy, they handle it all with style. No more boring floors. Get ready to impress everyone who walks through the door. Slide into durability and flair. First Class Epoxy Floor and Counter, where your floors get the VIP treatment they didn't know they needed.
Hey parents, got a young athlete at home? Sign them up for the Greater Midland Try Kids Try Youth Triathlon, Saturday, July 19th at Plymouth Park in Midland. Kids ages 6 to 15 will swim, bike, and run their way through the finish line in a fun, supportive environment. And don't miss the mini TKT for ages 3 to 5 happening Friday, July 18th. Register now at greatermidland.org/races. That's greatermidland.org/races.
When it comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, we learned a lot about the Tigers the last 4 days. 4-game losing streak heading into the All-Star break. I don't think it's the worst thing because it forces us to take off the orange and blue goggles of, hey, this is the best team in baseball. Hey, they got the best record. Hey, this team is flawless. They're perfect, gritty. No, that's not really the case. And I think Seattle kind of lighting up the Tigers was somewhat of a blessing in disguise because it forces Scott Harris and the Tigers fans to take a step back and think, okay, this team's not perfect. They've got some issues here at the deadline that they've got to take care of. And more importantly, I think the Tigers have identified another team in the American League that they should, I don't know if worried is the right word, but definitely have on the radar in Seattle.
It's not a good matchup for a 5 or 7 game series. That's for sure.
100%. Between Wu and Castillo, those are two top 15 pitchers in the American League just based on ERA. They've got a top 10 bullpen in baseball as well.
They match a lot of the Tigers' strengths.
Yes. And now that they've swept the Tigers here over the weekend, they're 4-2 versus them in 2025. And I think the more alarming part is they're 2-0 versus Tarek Skubal. And there's not really another team across Major League Baseball that can say they've gotten the better half or they've gotten Tarek Skubal's number here in the past 2 years. J.P. Crawford, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and Cal Raleigh, their 4 big hitters at the top of their lineup, are hitting .315 versus Tarek Skubal this season. And again, it's only 2 games. But it shows you even just in those short amount of stretch, like they've figured out a way to kind of attack Tarek Skubal early and often. And all 4 of those guys also just have destroyed Tommy Canely. Destroyed him. And
Cal Raleigh's destroyed everyone.
Right. There's something about hunting these first pitches, though. With Tarek Skubal, it's a fastball. With Tommy Canely, it's a changeup, where they're just unafraid of these guys. Not only did they have some success against both Canely and Skubal, and Vest for that matter, but they kind of let the Tigers know about it, too. When all those solo shots from yesterday, they rounded the bases with some swagger, with some vocals.
Yeah, I mean, J-Rod and Arozarena have kind of always been those guys, especially Arozarena. He's really always been like the chirpy guy.
But now there's some built-up confidence with them against Skubal, which I don't love.
Yeah, because no one else does it. I get it, though.
Right.
When it's the best in the game and you're hitting off of him, like, I would kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, I'm not annoyed with it. I'm just pointing it out.
Right.
Like,
it is annoying when it's against your team, though, for sure.
For sure, and I think Tigers fans should be upset. Like, they should kind of view this Seattle team as like, oh, all right, we're going to need some revenge on this. Because, let's face it, Seattle's just had the Tigers' number this season.
Uh-huh.
So, and especially with the way that they kind of showed off and talked to Tarek Skubal and the crowd rounding the bases, when Julio Rodriguez gunned down Gleyber Torres when he tried to go from first to third, and then just kind of was like doing
out by a mile,
doing the Matumbo wave, like not when I'm out here looking at the crowd, basically doing the what on earth are they thinking with me out here? You're not getting that. It's like, okay, yeah, no, you made yourself very clear. Seattle showed up, they took care of business, and now that's a team you look around the American League that you have to take pretty seriously if you're the Detroit Tigers. 989-837-6125. Scott Harris, though. How much do we trust him going into the deadline and with the draft last night? It's coming up next here. Ben Bosscher Show, 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself. Yep. And that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend. Yep. I'm learning that.
So something I definitely learned.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. Even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
Detours driving you bonkers? Ideal Party Store's got your back with the Detour discount. While the Lafayette Bridge is closed, enjoy 10% off select craft beer 6-packs and 10% off 4 bottles of select wine, 750 milliliters or more, with 2 great locations, 908 North Johnson on the east side and 401 Salzburg on the west side. Ideal Party Store makes every detour worth it. Serving Bay City since 1934, we're here to make you the life of the party.
The Michigan Baseball Foundation is more than just baseball. It's a driver of economic growth and community. Operating one of the nation's top minor league stadiums, MBF supports job creation and regional development. Through creative partnerships and charitable giving, MBF has helped bring projects like Dow Diamond, the East End Development, Fairfield Inn and Suites, the Plaza, and the Dow Bay Area Family YMCA to life, generating over $23 million annually in economic impact. Every Great Lakes Loons ticket supports these efforts. Learn more at MichiganBaseballFoundation.org.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com.
At the Great Lakes Loons, our commitment to community goes beyond the ballpark. Through the Volunteer program, Loons staff and even players roll up their sleeves to serve the Great Lakes Bay region. From packing food boxes to reading in classrooms and even cleaning up local camps and parks, it's hands-on work that helps build a stronger, more connected community. Volunteer isn't just what we do, it's who we are. Because being part of this region means showing up when it counts. The Great Lakes Loons, serving the Great Lakes Bay region since 2007.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt if you agree with anything I just said.
We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. Kyle Sandel producing behind the glass today. As always, look, the Tigers are heading into the All-Star break on a 4-game losing streak, and I think that's perfectly fine, considering the lead that the Tigers have in the division and how losing 4 games, I think you start to highlight some of the problems that this team has. Bullpen, Parker Meadows. Now they can identify a real enemy in the American League, which maybe this team was due for, how much they've cruised through the American League and specifically the AL Central so far this season. But when it comes to Scott Harris and this deadline and the draft last night, I just want to pose the question, do you trust him? Because yesterday, for the first time, I'm thinking to myself during this draft, I'm like, I have full confidence that whoever Scott Harris drafts here is going to pan out. And you look at the consensus on big boards and whether it's written by The Athletic or ESPN, and the Tigers definitely reached in both of their first-round draft picks last night. Jordan Yost. Jordan Yost goes 24th overall, the shortstop. He was 72nd on the Athletics big board. And then when it comes to Michael Oliveto, the other first-round pick who they took 34th, the catcher, he was 219th on the Athletics big board. And I see all these Tigers fans.
Right. They're all over the place, too.
But I see all these Tigers fans like, oh, they reached. Like, or you read draft grade articles. It's like, oh, the Tigers reached pretty good on these guys. And then I'm sitting here like, I trust Scott Harris more than any of these people. And that was almost my biggest takeaway. I can't believe I'm sitting here defending Scott Harris. Because this is someone that I haven't necessarily seen eye to eye with in terms of all their moves. But now all of a sudden in his 3rd draft class, I'm like, no, he's going to draft the right people. And their development guys, whether it's low A, high A, they're going to pan these guys out to be legitimate bats. And I started to wonder myself, I don't really care what all these big boards have to say. I trust Scott Harris to turn these 2 guys into the next top prospects for the Detroit Tigers. And I guess I couldn't believe that. Last night, I guess I had the realization, though, that I kind of do trust Scott Harris. at least with the draft. Now, the deadline, again, I think was handled pretty poorly last season, even though they got Trey Sweeney back in return, even though they got Tyrone Lorenzo back in return for Jack Flaherty. Look, I think they waited way too long to deal Flaherty. They waited until 5:57. The deadline was at 6. They waited until 5:57 to get a deal done. And the reason I know that is because I planned a whole show, because we used to go live at 6. I planned a whole show in terms of, hey, it doesn't look like they did anything. Had to throw that all out the window with 2 minutes to go. I'll never forget that. But the whole thing was, for a week leading up to that, was Scott Harris was overvaluing Flaherty and then couldn't get a deal done. No one wanted to give in and give up what Scott Harris was asking for. So at the 11th hour, Scott Harris kind of had to fold and deal Flaherty for what wasn't the best offer they had throughout the past week. I still feel that the Flaherty deadline deal was not handled right, even though they were able to get Flaherty back in free agency and add a guy like Trey Sweeney and Tyrone Lorenzo to the farm system. Now, that's just me. But now that we're here again and the deadline's 2 weeks away, I do have a lot more trust in Scott Harris than I did a year ago. With that being said, the deadline still managed pretty poorly last season. So we shall see. What is your confidence level in Scott Harris these days? Let's check in. Kyle, I'll ask you.
Right. I think that it's mixed as far as what you prefer or like what groups you're looking at. As far as the draft goes, I have no reason other than to have confidence in him and trust him, right? He's been very clear about taking the high school bats. You know, his first draft, he goes Clark, McGonigal in the first round and the competitive balance round. Last year, he takes Bryce Rayner, and then he goes Owen Hall, another rookie pitcher in the second round.
By the way, Bryce Rayner, before he got hurt, 5 home runs, 831 OPS, 288 average,
yes.
35 games played.
And had shot up to the third-ranked prospect in their system.
Dives back into first on a pickoff attempt, tears his shoulder up.
And obviously, we all know about Clark and McGonigal being these studs. So I have and obviously the rankings are whatever, man. It sounds like Yost is a guy that has really shot up the rankings in the last 6 months in general. So the Tigers view that potential as even higher than it already has become. But yeah, I have no reason to look at this and be like, oh, man. Because a lot of Tigers fans wanted them to take a guy that could be on the team in a year. A college guy, a 4-year college guy that could help out potentially in a year. That is just not what Scott Harris is about.
It's not
He's
his
made
MO.
that very clear.
Yeah.
I like the opposite approach, right? The farm system is so deep that you're probably willing to take a project potential guy that's 4 or 5 years out because of how deep it is currently in the minor league system. You look at every level, man. There is guys that can contribute at every single level in the Tiger system. So I trust him 100% when it comes to the draft. With the trade stuff, there isn't a ton of proof, of evidence there. I understand you're not love for the Flaherty deal. It worked out for them in the end.
It worked out for them in the end, but it was like using.
But isn't that all that matters?
No,
like
because
I
it was
get that at the time stuff. Yeah, you can feel a certain way, but like, how often do we go back and look at trades? Never. It's always the instant reaction.
This is the equivalent of like in a math class of you using the wrong formula and somehow still stumbling upon the right answer. That's what this kind of reminds me of. I get it. It worked out. But I still don't trust the process.
Though?
Like, look at what happened with Dallas in the NBA. No. I am. Because what they did was an absolute malpractice. But it worked out for them because they got Cooper Flagg. That doesn't mean what they did was the right thing to do. Just like I don't think
the Flaherty trade was malpractice to the Tigers.
Okay,
yes.
it's too. No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm just making a slight comparison. All right, when we come back, it's something that only the freaks are going to care about. That's next here on the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
I'm Sarah Stockford, host of 100.9 The Mitt Success Suite, a podcast highlighting the most inspiring female leaders across the Great Lakes Bay region. This month, we spoke with Allie Huntoon, the director and founder of Allied HR Solutions and Allied Group Fitness.
Lean on people I trust to help me get through things too. If I know that I'm overwhelmed or I need support with something, you know, I usually try to reach out. Sometimes I'm still trying to do things all myself.
Yep.
And that's a learning curve too. Delegation is your friend.
Yep.
I'm learning that.
So something I definitely do.
So I think it's leaning on your team. I think it's putting things into perspective. You know, even though HR is very important and we have things all the time that come up with terminations or discrimination or harassment.
Listen to the full interview with Allie on YouTube on 100.9 The Mitt. Subscribe and hit the notification button to be alerted when new episodes drop. That's Success Suite with Sarah Stockford.
At Scott Family Dental, they don't just care for your teeth, they care for you. Dr. Brandon Scott, a Michigan State graduate and Midland native, specializes in preventative, cosmetic, and restorative care. But what truly sets him apart is his commitment to building personal connections with every patient.
I value my patients as unique individuals and strive to make the best care decisions for you. I will always be honest and open regarding your care. That is my promise to you and anyone I treat.
Scott Family Dental. Let's bring out your best smile together.
Suit up, Sea Captain. At Dive and Glide in Midland, we've got all the gear you need to make a splash. Flippers that fit like a glove, masks that show you the underwater magic, and tanks ready to fuel your next adventure. Whether you're snorkeling the local lakes or dreaming of ocean depths, Dive and Glide has your back and your fins. Find us on Cambridge Street or swim over to diveandglideinc.com. Dive and Glide, making waves one splash at a time so you can dive deeper than ever before.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com. This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan. From the Blasey Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back into the Ben Bosscher Show, 989-837-6125. Hey, we talked Tigers the entire 10 o'clock hour. So if you're just tuning in and you want some Tigers, well, go to our YouTube page right now, and you guys can rewind the show instantly. Right now, you can listen to the 10 o'clock hour or the 9 o'clock hour and do a whole Tigers conversation. So jump on YouTube, do that. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Hit the like button while you're at it as well. Goes a long way. Helps get the content out and grows 100.9 The Mitt as a brand, and we'd appreciate that.
Yeah, you
help.
could say smash the like button.
Yeah, let me go full YouTuber mode. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and then you get the ding in there too. You know.
Yeah, that was good.
Thanks,
Not
Kyle.
peppy enough though.
Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below. Is that good enough? Leave a comment.
That's better.
Here's what we're going to do. I told you before we went to break. We're going to have a conversation for the real freaks out there. The diehards. The hoops heads. Is it ridiculous for us to do a summer league topic right now? Yeah. Would anyone in the industry suggest doing a summer league topic right now? Probably not. But you know what? That's not going to stop us. Listen. Ron Holland, this weekend at Summer League, established himself to the point where he's not going to be playing in Summer League the rest of the season. Ron Holland was legitimately the best player in Summer League over the weekend. And I think that was very apparent in the Pistons' first game on Friday night. To the point where I'm looking at Ron Holland now, and I'm like, okay, he's officially untouchable. Was my mind changed over the course of 2 Summer League games? Not necessarily. I always viewed him part of this core. But if we were ranking the assets on this team, to me right now it's Cade Cunningham, Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, and then everybody else. There's a tier list. Cade Cunningham, obviously, in that first tier. Ron Holland and Asar Thompson in that second tier. And then everybody else. Yes, I do have him above Jaden Ivey. I do have him above Jalen Duren. the way that he was playing this weekend, I mean, good God. Give him the ball and get out of the way. The three-point shot's falling. He's kind of unstoppable getting to the rim. The only way that anyone was slowing him down was fouling him. And a lot of people were he was drawing a lot of fouls. 28 points in that first game, 15 yesterday. Truly looked like a player that was like, just, hey, give him the ball. He's just better than everybody else on the floor. Getting a bunch of assists, grabbing rebounds, the putback dunks. The three-point shooting was definitely the thing that stuck out the most. And again, is he just going to enter the league this upcoming season and be a knockdown three-point shooter compared to what he was last year? Probably not. Yes. Maybe. That's apparently the Fred Vinson magic. But I did start to look at this and view him a little bit differently after Summer League to the point where, okay, he is taking the necessary steps that you would envision a guy taking in year number 2. And remember, this is Trajan Langdon's first round draft pick. I know Cade and Ivy and Duran and Asar are all here, but Trajan Langdon, his first time up to bat in the NBA draft. Ron Holland was his guy. And Ron Holland was kind of born into this Detroit Pistons culture, right? Cade, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duran, they all established it. And Ron Holland was the first guy that was kind of born into it, if that makes sense, because he embodies...
he's part of the dog pound already.
He embodies everything it means to be a bad boy or a reborn-again Detroit Pistons going back to work.
He got a technical foul in Summer League.
Which never happened. He squared up.
It's just what he does.
In an NBA game last season and got suspended for it. So I don't know if I'm not going to buy Ron Holland stock after he kind of balls out because obviously it'd be going on the rise. Yeah, but I don't know. This might have to be something that right before the season starts, I'm going to buy some Ron Holland stock because if we're talking about this Pistons core, I think he's in it over a guy like Ivy and Jalen Duran right now with the ability to play defense. If he can start to stretch the floor, kind of a spark plug in transition for Cade Cunningham. Has a little bit better vision. Saw him throwing some alley-oops too. This is kind of the perfect 3-and-D guy if he can develop that three-point shot. And I remember the day after they took him last year, you and I were like, hey, Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum stoppers right there. Go draft the 3-and-D wings. There's still a little bit of truth to that.
Yeah, I mean, Asar Thompson is definitely not 3-and-D.
No, but his defense is anything we could possibly imagine.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think the stuff with Ron Holland is just like he has more time to figure it out than Ivy and Duran do too, which I think plays a lot into viewing Ron Holland higher in the franchise rankings as far as who's going to be here long term.
I would actually push back on that. I'd say he has less time to figure it out compared to an Ivy and Duran because the Pistons all of a sudden are in a position to where this isn't just, hey, we're out there developing our guys. There's some real stakes on the line because there's some real expectation. And now he's expected to contribute to a winning team in a way that he didn't have to last season because of all the guys that they lose. I mean, we talk about having to replace Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley in terms of the shooting. You talk about a guy like Chaz Lanier, who was certainly trigger happy in his first 2 Summer League games. But if Ron Holland can start to stretch the floor, they're going to rely on him a lot more than I necessarily anticipated going into this season.
Well, yeah, I think they're going to rely on him a lot this year nonetheless. I mean, he was the 5th overall pick. Like, that guy's going to get a lot more run in year 2. The reason I say he's got more time to figure it out is something I've preached all offseason. Like, Ivy and Duran are due to get paid. So it's like, I think there's a lot of pressure on those two guys as far as what are the Pistons going to do money-wise. And I think that's why Ron Holland has more time to figure it out just going into year 2 of that 4-year rookie deal.
Would you rank him ahead of Asar or behind Asar for players of importance, assets for the Detroit Pistons?
Behind.
I am too. I'm aligned with you
and
there.
To me, it's really, I don't know if anyone could leap into that top 2 of Cade and Asar. It's obviously Cade is in his own tier, and then there's a tier with nobody, and then Asar is in his own tier after that.
Would that question have a different answer if Amen Thompson didn't exist?
That is a really good point.
I think it might. Because I still watch Amen Thompson sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, if Asar can just be...
Asar could do that too.
Asar can do it, yeah. I just talk myself into it.
I genuinely do think Asar is a more talented defender than Amen.
I do
now,
too.
it's really close. Like, Amen was all defense this year. Like, it is really close. But Amen is a clearly more developed offensive player to this point. And I still dream that Asar can be that, right?
I still think it can happen. They're a little bit older.
I don't know if he can be quite as good as Amen offensively.
Why?
Just as a playmaker. Like, Amen is clearly more developed with the ball in his hands.
Because he's had the ball in his hands his whole life. He's always played the point guard when they played together. But like,
so Asar's just going to magically...
Maybe, I don't know. The Pistons kind of, I don't really think Jaden Ivey's this great passer. Like, I don't think Jaden Ivey's he's going to be the backup point guard just because of the size, and that's just like you don't have really another choice but to play him at point guard.
Let's make this an Ivey conversation.
But I think Asar Thompson is kind of the better fit to run the offense when Cade's not in. And
what's
I think he's
Ivey
only
got
going
to
to
do
get
into this group then? To get into this group of Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, how we're debating for them to be 2 and 3 in the asset management of the Pistons. Like, what's Ivey got to do to launch himself? Because he's probably 5 right now, right? I'd say Duren's ahead of him based on the way he ended last season.
Yeah.
And it's nothing against, like, the Pistons have a lot of good young talents.
I just don't know if there's much he can do. It's the size and the defense that just...
There's nothing much he can do?
Okay, it's not like there's nothing he can do to rise up in the conversation, but the Pistons have built an identity based on defense, and Jaden Ivey doesn't really fit the bill as this dog of a defender. If he can still keep shooting the way he was to close out last year, where he was like 40%, granted on limited attempts, if he can raise the attempts and still be that efficient of a shooter, then yeah, they're going to find a way to utilize him. But again, if they're going to be this defensive identity team, I just don't really see how Jaden Ivey fits into the long-term picture,
That's fair. I think the opportunity is going to be there for him this year because obviously the shooting that they lost. But the bigger part is no backup guard play. There's none. It is Ivey.
I honestly feel like Jaden Ivey's ceiling in the NBA, not ceiling,
or is it
but
Dennis Jenkins?
No. I feel like Jaden Ivey is best suited as a 6-man in this league, not playing next to Cade. I just don't know how Jaden Ivey hits his ceiling when he's next to Cade.
Right. It's difficult to make your 5th overall pick from 3 years ago the 6th man already. Right? It's hard to make that decision now. When you really don't know. He's played 2 years, 2.5 years.
It's only a difficult decision because it leads to an awkwardness. That's the only reason
Right,
why.
that's what I'm saying.
Because if I'm putting together a starting lineup, it's Cade, Asar, Holland, Duren, and Tobias right now. Yeah.
We're not starting Asar, Holland, and Duren.
I mean, if Duren, if he's really figured out this jump shot,
the shooting fall from last year in that lineup is just detrimental.
If Holland figured out the shot, then I don't see a problem in it.
No, one of Duncan Robinson needs to start.
Sorry, that was me vomiting.
We started Hardaway every game last year. Why are we acting like this is such a humongous downgrade? Robinson is a better player than Tim Hardaway.
Duncan Robinson's a better player than Tim? I guess. Yeah, I guess. But is he a better player than Ron Holland? I don't know. If Ron Holland can be a 35% shooter, then...
Right, but I'm just talking from a lineup.
I guess they still need a lethal shooter on the outside somewhere. Yeah.
Now,
can
Robinson
Ivey be
probably
that
doesn't
person?
start
I don't know.
at all because it's probably Ivey Asar, right?
And then Holland off the bench? Or does...
Holland and...
Tobias makes too much money to come off the bench. That's the thing.
Of course.
It's just clearly the position that's the most upgradable right now.
Yeah,
I like everything
Tobias
Tobias has done. I know. I like everything Tobias has done. It's just
how about the
an
Pistons
upgrade.
showing out at Summer League, though? That was hype. The
all
whole
the
squad
guys
pulling up, watching. Duncan Robinson was with them. I thought that was really cool.
Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart looking like henchmen for...
Oh, my God.
For
scary.
Dude, they look horrifying.
Isaiah
Stewart
if you're watching
in the
on
black
YouTube right now,
beater.
I got it up here on the side. When Ron Holland had that putback dunk and Duren and Cade just got up and hyped him up, chest bumped him, that was... Man, that was awesome.
Had me going. Summer League game really had the juices flowing. It's rare.
I'm just happy we have a too good for Summer League guy because those are the best, and we haven't had one yet.
And it gives me a reason to where I don't really feel the need to watch Summer League anymore if Ron Holland's not going to be playing. I had a couple Chaz linear takeaways. The shot is definitely there. I think he can help the Pistons right away in a limited role. I don't think he's going to be playing 20 minutes a game.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play very much.
But when he is out there, he is certainly going to be happy to let it rip. He was a little too happy to let it rip.
That's his role.
That first shot attempt was a pretty big disaster. Like,
that pull-up midi.
Yeah, just had to let that first shot off. But other than that, I thought some pretty good shot making. Definitely not going to hesitate to let it rip from the outside. Quick trigger. I think we'll play a little bit this year for the Pistons. 989-837-6125. When we come back, a trip around the league. It's the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Get ready, Michigan. Field of Frames Fest presented by Dow is taking over Dow Diamond September 26th through 28th. It's the ultimate celebration of gaming, esports, and community, bringing together fans, families, players, and industry pros for a 3-day festival like no other. Watch elite teams battle in high-stakes competition. The Valorant Collegiate Invitational and Rocket League Semi-Pro Showdown, each with $10,000 prize pools. A $5,000 Super Smash Bros. Open Tournament. And a 17U Fortnite Youth Tournament with $1,000 up for grabs. There's live music, entertainment, and activities for all ages, plus educational panels and hands-on workshops for those interested in tech, business, and gaming industries. Tickets start at just $25, and kids 10 and under get in free. Don't miss your chance to be part of a landmark event. Visit fieldofFramesFest.com to grab your tickets today. Field of Frames. Experience the element of gaming.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com.
Hey, I'm Ben Bosscher.
And I'm Kyle Sandel.
And the two of us are live every weekday on 100.9 The Mitt at 9 a.m. until noon, giving you opinions on the teams that you care about the most.
The Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, Pistons, those teams.
And a whole lot more. Whether we're breaking down a game from the night before, debating the biggest news from the day, or doing a draft or spread picks, we're always having fun. I mean, come on, it's our job to talk about sports. How could we not be having fun?
So if the big games aren't enough for you, if you're a real diehard fan, this show is going to be perfect for you. You can count on us to be your morning sports outlet every day.
The Ben Bosscher Show with Ben Bosscher and Kyle Sandel on 100.9 The Mitt.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Michigan.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt. Before we take a trip around the league, I got to tell you, with it being summertime and everything, locally owned and proudly family-operated Ace Hardware and Sports right here in the heart of Midland is your go-to spot for all of your gardening needs. Take advantage of the $3 off Ortho Weed Killer, proven power to take your yard back, or go bigger with $10 off Spruce Weed and Grass Killer, tougher on the weeds, easy on your wallet. Visit them at East Main Street in downtown Midland, right where local service meets big-time savings, supporting your yard and your community all in one stop. That is Ace Hardware and Sports. Again, located downtown Midland. You can buy a donut while you're there as well. Visiting broadcast booth was pretty blown away by that a couple weeks ago. They were like, wait, your Ace Hardware sells donuts? Like, yes,
and
they
popcorn.
Do. And popcorn. Huh. Thanks for that, Kyle. Didn't know that.
They really got it all in there.
I don't have a home yet, or I'm not a homeowner, so I don't really have all the needs for Ace Hardware at this moment in my life, you know? Usually just call maintenance to take care of things
There's
like that.
There's always a need for Ace Hardware.
You know what? You're making great points. All right, let's take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go Around the League.
All right, Ben.
Kyle.
I'm excited for today's Around the League.
And now I just try to time up when you're going to say, all right, Ben, and
Exactly.
say, all right, Kyle.
I might just start saying, all right, Kyle.
You know, you should just start waiting, and we have to, like, telepathically say it at the same time. You know what I mean?
That's good. It's like when you try to say the same word thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've done a few of these already. ESPN has been putting out their top 10 at each position group in the NFL. They've done a bunch of them. We did edge rushers. You did pretty good on that.
Thanks.
Finally, they have dropped quarterbacks, which I don't know why they didn't save this for last, because tomorrow is off-ball linebackers, and then wide receivers next, and then corners closes it out.
You think Jack Campbell makes an appearance in off-ball linebackers? I think he might. I really think he might. I'm going to guess yes. I'm going to say yes at like minus 110.
Off the top of my head that are good right now. So maybe?
I'm gonna
maybe
say
he's like 8 or 9?
I'm going to say yes at minus 115.
Okay. Potentially. But anyways, quarterbacks is the list today. We've done a good amount of quarterback stuff, right? So I don't want to do this traditionally as far as like, guess 1 through 10. We're kind of doing it that way. I have a line set on the 10 of the guys on the list, and some of the honorable mentions even.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me if they're over or under on the list, higher or lower.
Sounds good.
Make sense?
Yep.
All right, let's start at the very top. Same line for both of these guys. Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, 1.5.
Last time we did this, Josh Allen was number 1. I don't remember what publication that was, but do you remember what publication it was?
No, but he seems to be number 1 like on all these things we look at.
Yeah, which is ridiculous, and this is not even me predicting, this is just me giving my opinion. Mahomes, I'm going to take the over or under, I guess. He has to be number 1. He is the best player in the league. It's not even close. Josh Allen over. I think he comes in at number 2.
Yes, you actually got it.
Finally! Oh
ESPN.
My God. Thank you,
stays
ESPN.
on the Pat Mahomes train. Jeremy Fowler, who does these rankings, has Patrick Mahomes number 1, Josh Allen number 2.
Finally, some lists with some logic in it.
Yeah, pretty good there. All right, moving down. Let's do the same thing for this next 2 QBs, and then we'll give individual lines for each guys. How about Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow each at a 3.5 line?
Lamar's got to be under because he should be 3. He was first team All-Pro last year. And I'd say over for Burrow. He should be coming in at 4. There's no reason Joe Burrow should be listed ahead of Lamar Jackson in any sort of list. How about don't start the season 0-2 every single year? And maybe you'll be ahead of Lamar and be competing to win these divisions. And I get it. Oh, defense bad. Offensive line bad. Maybe because you demand all these certain guys to get paid and then they don't have any money to help you out. There's no way Burrow's listed ahead of him, right? Lamar's got to be under.
He is, man. He is.
My God.
Burrow, number 3.
What has Lamar
Ben's
Jackson
favorite
done
player.
to deserve
Lamar
this?
is number 4.
What is
I think Jeremy Fowler is like a Burrow glazer, though. Because last year, Burrow was ranked number 2. And it says that his highest ranking on this list has been number 1. So one of the years, Burrow was number 1. Which is crazy.
Gracious, man. What has Lamar Jackson done over
Lamar
the past
was also
2
number
seasons?
4 last year. On last year's ranking, he was number 4. Coming off of the MVP last year.
And then this season was even better.
Yeah, it didn't win the
And
MVP,
doesn't-
but
and-
still.
But statistically just had a
Seems like
better
he's not a
season
Lamar fan.
all around.
Yeah. Not a big Lamar guy, I guess.
Remind
so you
me,
got the
wait,
top
who
4.
won the AFC North last year? I forget. Oh, it was the Ravens. Interesting.
You had to do a double check like, wait, the Steelers didn't win it, right?
Yeah, no. Did the Browns?
There's always a chance. Okay, let's move down the list a little bit. We talked about his spot in the top 10 all year, all offseason. Is he top 10? Is he borderline? Jared Goff. 8.5 line for Jared Goff.
Anything above that seems a little like they're pushing it, especially from a national media standpoint. I think Fowler does like Goff, but I'm going to say over. He's got to come in at 9 or 10 or
like 9 or 10.
That. Yeah.
Nah, Jared Goff, number 8 on the list. This is the highest we've seen him on any of these lists we've done. When you and I did one, I think you had him as number 10. I think these other ones had him right there at 9 or 10 too. But Jeremy Fowler's got him at 8.
I was going to ask who he's ahead of, but that would ruin the rest of the game. So, hey,
right.
I still haven't watched quarterback. I don't know if you have, but I'm assuming this is helping his national, like
Probably.
how people view him.
I doubt it's a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah. It feels like it's helping Kirk Cousins, too. Back-to-back seasons where the Kirk Cousins approval rating is just skyrocketing in the offseason. Then everyone sees him play. It's like, oh, yeah,
Right.
I forgot he's really bad at football these days.
All right, here's one. These guys are going to share a list, share a number. Justin Herbert and Jalen Hurts. Over under 6.5.
I'll take the over or the under for Justin Herbert. I think he's a top 5, top 6 quarterback. If it's 6.5, yeah, I think he's a top 6 quarterback. I still don't think Jalen Hurts is, even though he's the defending. Did he win Super Bowl MVP? I think he did.
Yes.
Was it Saquon?
Wait.
I don't know. Regardless, defending Super Bowl champion, but the offense I think is really catered to him. I don't think he could. You could take him and start running any NFL system. Whereas I think any team other than Ravens, Bills, Chiefs, Bengals would be so happy to have Justin Herbert come run their system because he's a system-proof quarterback and a wide receiver-proof quarterback as well. I would take Herbert under and Hurts over.
Herbert is under 7, ranked 7. Yeah. He said top 5. Nah, he's 7. Jalen Hurts, he's also under. I threw you a curveball.
That's a
9.
trick question, Kyle.
He's ranked 9. Jared Goff is ranked above Jalen Hurts.
I think I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm more caught off guard by who on earth is 5 and 6. If
All right, try to
Herbert
guess
is
him.
7.
I'm going to have lines for him, but there's no point because obviously it would just give it away. 5 and 6. Who is it?
CJ Stroud and Jaden Daniels?
You got one of them.
Stroud? Daniels? Oh my God.
Jaden Daniels, number 5.
What on earth? Dude, the CJ Stroud discourse is mind-blowing because after his rookie year, it's like,
We'll get to some Stroud stuff.
It's so fun. After Stroud's rookie year, it's like, this guy's the top 5 quarterback, consensus, put him in the top tier, right behind Mahomes. He's right there. And then his offensive line is horrendous in his second year. And it's like, nope, not even in the top 10. I still think Stroud is in that tier. I just can't believe. I guess I can believe Daniels.
What about
is ahead
Daniels
of
being
Herbert.
5 though? Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But again, like if you're gonna put him there after his rookie season, if he has a little bit of a sophomore slump, I don't think he should be punished the way that everyone punished CJ Stroud in all these rankings. Not that any of these rankings have any real meaning.
Okay, so who do you think is number 6?
I don't know.
It's the only guy missing from the list other than number 10, and I'll get to that.
Stafford?
Matt Stafford, number 6.
Wow.
I'm all in on this.
No, I would take Herbert over Stafford tomorrow.
Fowler does not. I agree. But
Then
I think
you're not all
Stafford
in on
is.
this.
But I just love that he put Stafford high, man. Like a lot of people just think that Stafford is old and he sucks now. Nah, man. Stafford is still elite.
Well, one of those things is true. He is old. But
Yeah,
I'd rather
so
have
is
Herbert.
a lot of guys.
I'd rather have Herbert than Stafford. I don't even think that's
I would too.
that close.
But I would rather have Stafford than Goff and Stafford than Hurts, which this list represents.
I can live with that as well.
All right, last one.
Oh.
2 guys each have a line of 10.5, meaning they made the list or they didn't. Your boy CJ Stroud and Baker Mayfield.
Oh, come
Who
on.
slid in at number 10?
Come on. There's no way Baker's listed ahead of CJ Stroud. No chance.
There is a chance, man.
No, Kyle.
Baker Mayfield, number 10, top 10 quarterback in the NFL. CJ Stroud, an honorable mention. Whew. Tough spot for him.
People, you know what? You know what? When we do our stock exchange later, I'm going to buy CJ Stroud stock.
Do it.
That's
A
ridiculous.
good buy.
I'm going to buy CJ Stroud stock and I'm going to buy Nico Collins stock. He continues to be the most
You've already
criminally.
done that.
I'm going to do it again. Most criminally underrated receiver in the NFL. Have they come out with I know ESPN's been doing the position rankings. Have they done receiver yet? Because if Nico Collins...
Wide receivers is on Wednesday.
If Nico Collins is not in the top 10, I will be buying all of his stock. I'll actually buy a whole island and dedicate it to CJ, to Nico Collins stock.
Quickly before we end this, yesterday they did offensive tackles, top 10. Penei Sewell, not number 1.
Tristan Wirfs.
Just injured.
Not ball knowers.
Tough.
They don't understand. 989-837-6125. Hey, if you're like me, you're looking for a new place to golf, always. Golfers, look no further. Apple Mountain in Freeland, where every round comes with a side of scenic perfection. Championship level course, beautifully maintained, and just the right mix of challenge and fun. When you've wrapped up 18, head to Apple Mountain Restaurant, the perfect place for casual elegance and spectacular views. Whether you're playing for score or just soaking in the atmosphere, Apple Mountain is your place to unwind, recharge, and enjoy the game. Apple Mountain in Freeland, minutes away, but miles from ordinary.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
For 100 years, Forward Energy has been more than just a home heat and fuel provider. We've been a part of your community, and you've been a part of our family through every storm, every season, and every moment. We've been right here, keeping you warm and safe. As your hometown energy provider, we deliver more than just propane. We deliver peace of mind with reliable service, quality you can count on, and a commitment to always being there when you need us most. Forward Energy, 100 years strong, fueled by family, powered by community.
It's July, it's hot, and Bounce & Bites is bringing the splash. Every bounce house, slide, and inflatable at our event will be soaked and ready for action. Water slides, splash zones, and giant slip and slides. Bring your swimsuits, towels, and sunscreen. We'll have the food trucks, the music, and a whole lot of good vibes. It's free to attend, and every dollar raised helps local kids get involved in sports, music, and more through the Moody Foundation. Join us Sunday, July 20th in Midland. Details at bounceandbites.com. The word bounce, the letter N, the word bites.com. The Moody Foundation, making a splash for a great cause.
This is more than just a lineup. It's a daily ritual for the die-hard Michigan sports fans. At 6 a.m., Anthony Bellino wakes up the state with Spin on Sports.
I do not believe it.
At 9, the Ben Bosscher Show is appointment listening hosted here in the Great Lakes Bay region.
I would like to buy some Casey Mize stock.
America's Best takes over at noon. The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Well, what about Patrick Mahomes?
And at 3, Bill Simonson brings it home on The Huge Show. Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, for the most passionate fans in Michigan.
I'm Ben Bosscher, and here's what I think. I think replay should be taken out of basketball entirely. I think 2 super conferences would fix college football. I think the best football, basketball, and baseball players of all time are currently playing. I think the day the Lions win the Super Bowl is going to be the greatest day of my life. I think Monty Williams sabotaged the Pistons on purpose, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think Jim Harbaugh is one of the best coaches of all time, but most definitely cheated, got caught, and ran away. And I think you should tune into the Ben Bosscher Show, fueled by Forward Energy, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.9 The Mitt, if you agree with anything I just said.
From Midland to Bay City, Saginaw to Sanford, from Frankenmuth, Freeland, and Hemlock to Auburn, Essexville, and Pinconning, 100.9 The Mitt is the heartbeat of the Great Lakes Bay region, and proud of it. We're your home for local sports, local stories, and local pride. Whether you're in Birch Run, Beaverton, Gladwin, Chesaning, or Coleman, football, basketball, hockey, Spartans, NFL, Loons, all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan's sports leader.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Lions training camp begins on Wednesday. At least the rookies report on Wednesday. Everyone else will be there on Saturday. Man, we've got NFL football. 17 days from today, same day as the trade deadline.
Football.
We've got the trade deadline and NFL football, the Lions' first game preseason on July 31st. So I was thinking about this yesterday. The group, we've talked about the position battles, but the position group that I think is going to be the most fun to kind of watch unfold during camp, I think it's the defensive line, especially considering no Lee McNeil to begin the season. And I don't mean what's Hutchinson going to look like? Is he going to be 100%? Hutchinson's going to be the starting edge week one. There's no doubt about that. But how everything else unfolds, I think is a big question mark, because right now, Tyleik Williams, I think everyone is throwing him into that starting job, right? Throwing him into, hey, you're going to be the Lee McNeil replacement until he at least comes back. And I think that's the right way to think about it. But again, this is a rookie. We should be hoping for it, and I think the Lions are hoping that he can jump right into a starting role, but I don't think it's necessarily fair to expect him to be in that role, especially the amount of snaps that Lee McNeil was taking throughout a game when he was out there for 80%, 85% of the team snaps. It's not like it's just some lock for Tyleik Williams to insert himself into this Lee McNeil role. You still have Levi Onwuzurike in the mix of things too, who I think the Lions are perfectly comfortable with in the 3-tech role next to DJ Reader, right? You still have guys like, last year, Pat O'Connor ended up getting a ton of time. Mekhi Wingo, even last year's 6th-round draft pick from LSU, I still think is, knocking on the door, even though he got hurt to close out last year. You still have Josh Pascal, a former draft pick of Brian Holmes from way back in the day as well. Like, you have all these guys threatening Tyleik Williams. I just think we need to pump the brakes just a wee bit on, hey, this is the day one starter for Tyleik Williams. I think there's a couple things that are certain. Aiden Hutchinson lining up to start out the season. DJ Reader lining up to start out the season, assuming nothing goes wrong with those guys during training camp. But who's opposite of Aiden Hutchinson and who's the 3-tech next to DJ Reader, I do think is in question. I don't know if it's Tyleik Williams. I don't know if it's Levi Onwuzurike. My guess is it's one of those guys. I hope Tyleik Williams is good enough right off the jump to take on that role. But what we've seen from Levi Onwuzurike the past season, when the first time he was able to stay healthy, I honestly, right now, would probably feel better about that sort of veteran being out there for the majority of the snaps more than I would a rookie that we've never laid our eyes on. Training camp, the way it unfolds for the defensive line, I think is the most fascinating group to kind of put your eyes on outside of the offensive line, which has its own question marks just based on you don't really know who's going to be lined up at both guard spots. And then opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport's an option. Levi Onwuzurike's an option out there as well. Josh Pascal also an option out there as well. And there's always the ability to re-sign a guy like Zadarius Smith, who we've yet to see play across from Aiden Hutchinson. Now, Zadarius Smith doesn't bring a whole lot of run defense to the table, so I'm hesitant to say, he's always going to be out there opposite of Hutch. I think they like Marcus Davenport in the run-stopping role just a little bit more, but that's a guy who obviously has struggled to stay healthy. You trust Zadarius Smith a little bit more out there. Derek Barnes, as his role as a Sam linebacker, is he going to be ready to go from week one? And what's his timeline for training camp? All of these things are things to watch here at training camp. I think defensive line for me is where I'm the most interested right now with camp starting later this week.
Well, I think it's the most fun group to watch because they have the first-round rookie.
Right.
I mean, think about the rookies the last couple of years. Those have been the guys that you're just most excited about. Terrion Arnold last year, think about how excited we were about the potential of him come training camp. And obviously Gibbs, J-Mo, Jack Campbell, all these guys. The first-round rookies are always super exciting when they come into training camp. So that's why I would say that's the group. For me, though, I'm backing it up, man. And I've talked about it all off season. Give me the secondary. I'm so excited to see what they do with this group. Just because you have the best safety duo in the league. You bring in DJ Reed without the You have Terrion Arnold. And then Amik Robinson, who obviously gets injured. But man, he really shined at the end of the season. And he's got me excited about what role he's going to be in this season. So the secondary to me is the one I'm super excited to watch in training camp. Just like, what's this group really going to look like?
But don't we kind of already know who the starters are going to be for the secondary? It's going to be...
Well, yeah, but I'm just excited to see him, you know?
You're just excited to read the stories about him?
Yeah.
Terrion Arnold, DJ Reed.
I told you, without the
Amik Robertson in the nickel, and then the two safeties. I feel like we already just know how... I'm excited to watch them come season.
Ennis Rakestraw is the guy that you said to look out for come training camp.
I just think it's interesting, like, how many different roles he could fill, because it seems like they're pretty adamant about him cross-training at both nickel and outside corner, so he's potentially, like, back up in all of those spots. That's interesting, but I feel like I know how that's going to play out. God forbid any injuries happen. The defensive line, I think, is a bigger question mark. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
In terms of knowing how this thing's going to shape out? Like, betting odds, who starts next to DJ Reader and Aiden Hutchinson week 1? Tyleik Williams or Levi Wunzurike? I think it's, honestly, Levi Wunzurike.
Probably.
Minus 125?
Because just like if Tyleik doesn't play now, when does he play?
He can get better as the season goes on.
Yeah, but Ali McNeil comes back as the season goes on.
Would it be an unsuccessful season for Tyleik Williams if he was just a rotational player?
Probably, because there's a role right there for him right now. I wouldn't say unsuccessful, but it would definitely be like, dang, like thought he was going to play a lot more.
It would be a disappointment. But I don't know, the way Levi played last year, you almost want him out there. Like it's hard to keep him out the way that he was playing last year. I mean, he led the league.
Are we just overlooking this?
Pressures.
And the group to watch is obviously the offensive line.
Yeah, probably. Tate Ratledge. Yeah, how do they look? Is there some
Who's
mishaps?
on it? Like that really determines a lot of things for the Lions this season.
My guess is what we're talking about at the end of the week is Tate Ratledge is center, Graham Glasgow is right guard, and Christian Mahogany is left guard. That's kind of where I've settled on things. And then I get to sit here and tell you, Graham Glasgow by the end of the season, nightmare. 989-837-6125. We've got the stock market exchange coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. We've got our biggest takeaways from the series against Seattle coming up in the 11 o'clock hour. We've got our two traditions to close out every show, the lock of the day and Guessing Collins Open coming up to close out the show. But next, do you trust Scott Harris? Has he earned the benefit of the doubt heading into the trade deadline? 989-837-6125. As much as I hate to admit it, the weekends, kind of counting down how many weekends are left of warm weather. Luckily, football is right around the corner, but you've still got time to go do something fun in the Great Lakes, like exploring Great Lakes shipwrecks. Maybe you can dive into an adventure with Dive and Glide. Sign up for open water dive courses at diveandglideinc.com. Learn the skills, practice, and get certified. Whether you're a beginner or brushing up on your skills, they've got the classes to get you underwater with confidence. If you're already a pro, shop the best state-of-the-art gear online, fins, regulators, masks, gauges, and more. Visit diveandglide.com and gear up for your next underwater adventure. That's diveandglideinc.com, Michigan's home for all things scuba.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
It's time to remember that.
You remember.
With Kyle Sandel.
Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau Agent, located downtown Midland. All right, last night, MLB Draft first round is complete, as well as the competitive balance round. Tigers had 2 picks, and there was a bit of a surprise at the top of the draft. The Nationals going a different way than most teams expected to. Cade Anderson falls all the way to 4. But let's go through the Tigers picks, because I know the MLB Draft is a little bit difficult to follow, so let's talk about the 2 players selected. First up, 24th overall, the Tigers' first round pick is Jordan Yost, a shortstop from Florida, a high schooler. And here's the trend with the Tigers' 2 picks in this draft. High school guys and guys that are ranked much lower on their ESPN draft rankings than where they actually went. Now look, us Detroit sports fans know that the draft rankings shouldn't matter, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, all these picks that the Lions took reaching for guys. The Tigers essentially reached here according to the draft rankings. And with their competitive bounce round pick, 34th overall, they go with a catcher, a high schooler, Michael Oliveto from New York. Now, there's no need to really talk about what these players do well and their skills and all that because we're not going to see them for probably 4 or 5 years in Tigers uniforms. But I think the more important thing to talk about is the Tigers didn't go win now players with their first couple picks, right? Sometimes you see teams that are in a window of competing for a World Series. They'll draft guys that are going to be on the team within a year. Scott Harris is sticking to his guns, and he's been great at development so far, so why not keep drafting these high schoolers? Remember that. Presented by Matt Larson, Farm Bureau agent, located downtown Midland.
Midland Eye Care wants you to know, according to a recent study conducted by the AOA, the Optical Laboratories Association, and the Vision Council, nearly half of all glasses ordered online had either prescription errors or failed to meet minimum safety standards. Midland Eye Care offers a full-service optical department meeting all your eye care needs. So call your local Midland Eye Care and avoid incorrect prescriptions costing you time and money. Midland Eye Care, your vision source on Eastman Road in Midland, on Cedar and Gladwin, and on East Washington and Freeland.
When the summer heat is on, keep your cool with Answer Heating and Cooling. Our expert team specializes in fast, reliable air conditioning repairs, installations, and maintenance. Stay comfortable all season long with top-notch cooling solutions and simply outstanding service. Plus, with financing options and special rebates, cooling your home has never been more affordable. Answer Heating and Cooling, where comfort is our priority. Try our new schedule online option or call us today.
At Tommy's Express, you can get your car clean, shiny and dry in just minutes. Our state-of-the-art eco-friendly wash delivers a spotless finish every time. With the Tommy Club app, enjoy unlimited washes or paper wash. Skip the line with license plate recognition and manage everything right from your phone. Fast, clean, and simple. Visit Tommy's Express today and see the difference. Text CLEAN CAR to 86697 for a free works wash.
Offer valid for new guests only. By participating, you consent to receive promotional information text from Tommy's Express. Message and data rates may apply. Message frequency varies.
Hey parents, got a young athlete at home? Sign them up for the Greater Midland Try Kids Try Youth Triathlon, Saturday, July 19th at Plymouth Park in Midland. Kids ages 6 to 15 will swim, bike, and run their way through the finish line in a fun, supportive environment. And don't miss the mini TKT for ages 3 to 5 happening Friday, July 18th. Register now at greatermidland.org/races. That's greatermidland.org/races.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com. You want sports takes? You want local voices that own the mic? Yeah. We've got them on Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. It kicks off at 6 a.m. with Anthony Bellino on Spin on Sports.
Rise and shine.
From 9 to noon, don't miss Michigan's newest sports show, The Ben Bosscher Show.
Hey, remember that.
At noon, you get America's smartest sports takes, The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
I want Shador to play.
And at 3, the one and only Bill Simonson and The Huge Show. This is where real fans stay locked in. 100.9 The Mitt.
They tell us we're more connected these days. We have cell phones, email, text messaging, yet we've never felt more disconnected from the people we care about the most. We need a place that's all about bringing us together. Say hello to the Great Lakes Bay region, where towns like Saginaw, Midland, Bay City, Birch Run, Chesaning, and Frankenmuth help us leave behind the overscheduled world we live in and visit a place we haven't seen in a while. One where the people make us feel right at home. And we remember just how bright our kids' eyes get, peeking through a riverboat railing, just to catch a glimpse of the wildlife. So let's go fishing, bird watching. Let's blow the suds off a local tap, take a tall ship dinner cruise at sunset, or stop by a festival just because the name made us smile. Right here in the Great Lakes Bay region, where reconnecting with what really matters is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
989-837-6125. Welcome back in to the Ben Bosscher Show. Ben Bosscher here with you as always. Kyle Sandel behind the glass as always. Look, we've got the deadline here in just over 2 weeks. Trade deadline, that is. Last night we had the MLB draft. As crazy as it seems to say out loud, at least to me, maybe not to anybody else out there, but I think I just trust Scott Harris at this point. We've come a long way, because me and Scott Harris haven't necessarily seen eye to eye on all the decisions, but look, man, the reputation speaks for itself. 2023 draft, Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, those are the Tigers' 1 and 2 prospects right now. In case anyone was wondering, Kevin McGonigal's 1 for 9 with 0 strikeouts and 1 walk so far at AA. He's the Tigers' new number 1 prospect. And then Max Clark, who, obviously the Tigers wanted to take 3rd overall over the likes of Wyatt Langford. And just in case anyone was wondering, in that department, Wyatt Langford, 15 home runs, 755 OPS this season with Texas in the big leagues. So as much as it would be fun to have someone who could help the Tigers right now, I also just don't know where Wyatt Langford would even fit in, because those are solid numbers. 15 home runs, 755 OPS. You'll take that from, your outfielder, but it's not like he's had this way better season than Wenzel Perez other than just being healthy. It's not like he's had a way better season than Riley Green. Hasn't had a better season at all. Definitely has had a better season than Parker and Vierling, but that's also just due to missed time. I guess not really in the case of Parker Meadows, but I'd just like to give the update on Wyatt Langford once in a while, because I know that one's always going to be one that Tigers fans always look back at and it's like, did we make the right decision on Max Clark?
Speaking of looking back at that 2023 draft, I think this is going to be one of them ones that you look back at and it's like the Brad Holmes hitting 7 guys in that draft in 2023, right? 2022?
Which one? I mean, he's done that multiple times.
You're right.
Feels like.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
one are you talking about?
I think this is going to be something you look back at. You got Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal, first 2 picks. Max Anderson, the first college player taken, has really been hitting his stride in AA Erie with the Tigers.
I think he's the 9th prospect.
Taking in the 5th round. I mean, Jaden Ham is one of the top pitching prospects on the Tigers, a college pitcher, but man, I think this is going to be one of them ones.
Jaden Ham, 7th overall prospect. Max Anderson, I thought he'd be higher, but he's 22nd right now in the top 30.
He was really low because he had a while, wasn't great.
The heck is that? You hear that?
I did hear that.
Where did that come from? Is that coming from our station? Did you hear that? Am I crazy?
I did, yes. I think it's coming from the box behind me.
Oh, maybe Fox? I don't know.
Must be a
I
test.
thought I heard the national emergency.
It definitely
thing.
was Fox, a Fox test.
And
probably.
now I'm having flashbacks to college when they were like, "You cannot play this on accident."
Oh man,
you cannot play. We learned
the
this
EAS test. Yeah,
we learned this in media law. You can get fined so much money for accidentally or playing it as a gimmick or a joke. And now I'm just kind of having flashbacks.
But you have
to
to do a test, so it's like,
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, there's a good chance no one actually knows what we're talking about. They're like, well, we
Probably
didn't hear
not.
anything. So anyway, yeah, the 2023 draft class will always be one that Tigers fans will look fondly over. Similar to the 2023 Tigers or Lions class, where you take Gibbs, you take the swing on him, and then Campbell, and then Laporta and Branch. It was just a ridiculous draft all around. 2024, Bryce Rayner, who, the jury's not in or out on Bryce Rayner, but
long time to figure that out too.
Had excellent numbers in low A before ended up getting hurt. 5 home runs, 831 OPS, 288 average. We would have seen him at West Michigan at some point this year, if not for the dislocation of the
with
shoulder.
all the guys getting moved up.
Yeah, they're in need of a shortstop now. Right. I wouldn't have been surprised if Rayner was healthy right now. The move coinciding with Clark and Briseño and McGonigal being moved to AA was, let's bring Rayner up to single A. Because he was, like I said, crushing it down at low A before.
And at the end of the day, people shouldn't be shocked by the way that Scott Harris drafted last night. He likes to take the high school bats and the college arms.
Mm-hmm.
In 2024, out of the first 5 round picks, 3 of them college arms. And then all the hitters were high school guys.
And what do all those high school guys have in common? They're lefties. Scott Harris wants left-handed bats all day, all night when it comes to the draft. Jordan Yost, shortstop, hopefully can play third base in the long run because it feels like
Yeah,
the Tigers,
every high school prospect is a shortstop, you know.
Yeah, because nobody's playing second or third if you're really this guy. But, you hope at some point either Rayner or Yost can develop into a shortstop, or you just move one of them for a shortstop at some point. He was taken 24th. Again, on everyone's big board, I guess on the Athletics big board, he was 72nd. Right? For Michael Oliveto, the catcher that they took 34th, he was 219th on the Athletics big board. But again, I think at least when it comes to the draft, I just trust Scott Harris more than I trust any consensus big board out there that these writers are writing. And it's nothing against the writers, but Scott Harris has just showed us throughout his 2 drafts with the Tigers that he's going to pick the right guys and develop them to a point where there's kind of just a trust between Scott Harris and the fan base when it comes to the MLB draft. Now, the trade deadline, I think, is completely different. The trade deadline's different, and that's coming up here in a couple weeks. And again, I think the fact that the Tigers go into the break on a 4-game losing streak isn't the worst thing because it forces Scott Harris to really examine this bullpen and view it for what it is. Not to say, hey, if they don't go if they win their last game and win on Sunday, all of a sudden Scott Harris is thinking completely differently. But it's not just the losses, it's the way that they lost, right? Tommy Kahnle all of a sudden is a huge question mark. Can you trust him in a big situation? Really, other than Vest, who also didn't have his best outing, 3 walks and a home run allowed in his 1 outing versus Seattle, it's like, okay, if your starting pitcher can give you 6, you got to throw someone out there in the 7th in a 1-run game in the playoffs. I don't feel good about that, Kyle, at all. Even with the likes of, like at the beginning of July, it's like, hey, Holton's put together a nice few outings. Hannafy, same thing. All right, Kahnle, Vest, like, do you have 4 guys that you trust? Now the answer is like, do you have any guys that you trust? And I don't think Vest has done enough for you to not be able to trust him at all. Again, bad outing this weekend versus Seattle, but it felt like a bad outing for everyone. Kahnle's the one where it's like, what are we getting from Kahnle from this point forward? So I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden Scott Harris is looking at these last 4 games like, man, maybe we need to add multiple arms here at the deadline. And I know the Minnesota guys have been floated around as, hey, Minnesota's looking to sell.
Tigers.
Yeah, Duran and Jax. I have a hard time believing that Minnesota or anyone within the division would do anything to give the Tigers a favor here at the deadline. So they're going to have to get creative.
I think to your point of this series probably doesn't define how Scott Harris is going to handle the deadline. It's the same for the first 2 weeks of July with how good the bullpen was. I don't think that stretch defined how he's going to handle the deadline either. I think he already knows how aggressive he's going to be or not. I think that's already determined, right? I mean, this team has had the division lead in a chokehold for weeks and months. I understand that you go on this losing streak and everything, but Scott Harris knows what his priorities are at the deadline. That's not just going to change from Tommy Kahnle giving up a grand slam.
No, I kind of disagree, though. In some ways, because what we've heard the last 2 years of Scott Harris was, hey, we don't have to decide whether... Dude, that's freaking me out. We don't have to decide whether it's we're buyers or sellers until the actual deadline. Like, he said that 2 weeks removed from the deadline last year. It's like, we don't have to decide right now. We've got some time. And obviously the Tigers were in a much different situation. It's not like 2 weeks from today they're going to not have that big of a lead in the AL Central. You'd hope that they're not going to collapse to that point. But if, dude, I'm so distracted by whatever's going on. Where is that coming from? Is that coming from the Fox thing behind you?
It's on our air right now. It's on 100.9.
Oh, so nobody's hearing us right now.
Well, on YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to try to ignore that and continue going. I don't know what the weather advisory would even be, though. There's no rain in the sky, in the forecast. I don't know.
I mean, the air quality is pretty bad.
That's probably it then. Okay, where was I? I'm so sorry to our YouTube stream right now. Whatever. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. Let's take a quick time out.
We're back on the Mitt.
We'll regather everything. I don't know what's going on right now. We're going to regather our thoughts. One time out. Come back for the 11 o'clock hour. We've got a lot of stuff coming up. Scott Harris in the Detroit Tigers. Why it's not so bad that they went into the break on a 4-game losing streak. Trying to stay positive here. On a Monday, we've got our Monday morning stock exchange, a tradition here on the Ben Bosscher Show on Mondays. And of course, we've got our 2 traditions to close out every single show. It is the Ben Bosscher Show live on 100.9 The Mitt, live on YouTube as well. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
Transform your outdoor space with Maple Hill Nursery. Whether you're a gardening enthusiast or just looking to relax in style, they have everything you need. From premium polywood furniture that never needs painting to top quality plants and trees, Maple Hill Nursery has it all. Plus, they offer free setup and delivery on in-stock barbecue grills. Visit them today just north of Midland Mall or check out their website for pro tips and expert advice. Maple Hill Nursery, making your yard the place to be.
A beautiful yard increases both the value of your home and the quality of your life. Commercially, landscaping creates a positive impression of your professionalism and commitment to community, customers, and employees. Cervinsky Sod has been creating and maintaining outdoor spaces for 56 years. Whether your project is residential or commercial, the team at Cervinsky Sod Services will work with you to build and meet budgets and finish the job with top quality and in a timely manner. To get a quote, call 989-835-4810 or visit CervinskySodService.com.
You have better things to do than to job hunt or scramble to find your next great hire. So let Spherion do it. We say local is our superpower because we live and work where you live and work. We know the local job market. We're here in person. And we're locally owned, so you won't find a partner who's more engaged and literally invested in your success. If you're ready for something better, start with Spherion. Visit us online at Spherion.com to find your local Spherion office. Let's get to work.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com. We're in your town, your school, your huddle. 100.9 The Mitt is here for sports fans in the Great Lakes Bay region. From the hardwoods of Saginaw to Midland's Friday Night Lights. From the streets of Bay City to Freeland, Frankenmuth, and Hemlock. We roll through Beaverton, Auburn, Pinconning, Essexville, and Shepherd. All the way to Gladwin, Birch Run, Coleman, and Bridgeport. This is your sports station. High school, college, NFL, the Loons. It's all right here. 100.9 The Mitt, Mid-Michigan sports leader.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in Michigan. This message presented by the MHSAA and the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
From the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Welcome back to 100.9 The Mitt's the Ben Bosscher Show. It's the 11 o'clock hour. Some say the most important hour of the day. So without further ado, let's jump back into this Tigers thing because, well, they're going into the break on a 4-game losing streak. Just got swept by Seattle. But I actually think that this losing streak had a real purpose behind it. I think it's okay. If you're looking at this as a glass half full type of situation, here's what I would tell you. I personally learned a lot about this Tigers team over the past 4 days, specifically this weekend. More so than I've learned about them over the stretch of a series in a long time. First and foremost, Parker Meadows is in dire need of this All-Star break. And if he's not in dire need of this All-Star break, then maybe this is an even larger conversations surrounding Parker Meadows because right now he kind of feels like a liability in the lineup. We always talk about the depth of this Tigers team, the versatility, how anyone can step up on any given day, how Hinch utilizes every spot on the roster throughout the course of a game in a series. Right now it feels like Parker Meadows is in his own head a little bit. Feels like he's an automatic out at the plate. He's striking out 30% of the time, which isn't that big of a deal in a vacuum considering Riley Green's striking out 32% of the time. It's that parlayed with the fact that he's hitting under the Mendoza line. He's not hitting his weight. And he has a 545 OPS. It's problematic, right? The chase rate is frustrating to say the least. It cannot hit a breaking ball right now. So that'd be the first thing we learned. I think the conversation surrounding Parker Meadows, he's got basically 2 weeks after the deadline to really figure things out, take this break, mental reset, go clear your head, man, because we're even starting to get some poor play in the outfield, which is the one area Parker Meadows should never have poor play in. He's like, I've sat here on this microphone and said this is a future Gold Glove guy. I've sat here and told you he's a 4.5 tool player. And I still believe that version of Parker Meadows is somewhere deep down in there. But right now he's lost it and is somewhat of a black hole in the lineup. I'd give him about 2 weeks after the deadline, or not after the deadline, after the All-Star break. I think he has about 2 weeks to figure it out. Otherwise, the Tigers are going to have some really serious internal conversations about, can we keep putting him out in center field when we know we can get play from Javi Baez or Perez. You don't really want to put Riley out there every day, but it's an option. You've got options to play in center field other than Parker Meadows if he's going to be this bad in the box. 2 doubles since he's returned. That is it. The other thing we learned is, well, Seattle might be the team to fear is not the right word, but to circle in the American League. It's the only team that's had the Tigers' number this season. They're 4-2 versus Detroit so far this year. They just swept the Tigers in Comerica Park. And more importantly, Tarek Skubal has struggled mightily against this team, which can't really say that about any other club in the majors. Maybe there was the argument for Cleveland last year based on how the playoffs went, but he has dominated against them so far this season, including that complete game with under 100 pitches. So the fact that Seattle has not one, but not two, not three, but 4 guys who have kind of gotten the best of Tarek Skubal and J.P. Crawford, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and Cal Raleigh all together this year hitting .315 versus Skubal. It's definitely something that, again, I don't think worried is the right word, but noteworthy if you're going into a playoff series versus them. Oh, all 4 of their top guys, their studs at the top of the lineup have dominated Tarek Skubal. Yeah, that's something to monitor going into a playoff series. So if we're drafting teams I'd least want to see in the playoffs, I think Seattle right now would be the easy choice number 1, considering that they've lit up the ace, gotten wins against the Tigers, hitting a ton of home runs, and have destroyed the Tigers bullpen. Not to mention Wu and Castillo, top 15, both in the American League for earned run average and a top 10 bullpen in baseball as well. It's a really solid all-around team. And the other thing would be something that we already knew, but we had a little bit of hope that maybe wasn't true, is the bullpen. Right? At the beginning of July, it was like, hey, Holton's put together a nice few outings, Hannafy too, Tommy Kahnle, Vest, always guys you trust. Now it's like, wow, throw that out the window. Kahnle is a 46, yes, you heard that correctly, a 46 ERA in the month of July in 6 outings. He's only gotten 7 outs, which doesn't even feel real.
And he doesn't even get a day off before he pitches at the Derby tonight.
Okay, Kyle. Montero and Lee also disastrous over the weekend. Skubal and Mize gave up 10 runs, but more so focused on the bullpen. Holton gave up a home run in both of his outings versus Seattle. Vest, 3 walks and a home run versus Seattle in just 1 game. It was just a disaster all around. And I think that being highlighted, we knew the Tigers needed more bullpen arms. That was the worst kept secret in the league. Everyone knew they were going to add arms, but them being this atrocious and Kahnle being the biggest, like, whoa, wait, I thought we were supposed to be trustworthy. I thought this guy was supposed to be one of the few guys that they do trust in the bullpen. The fact that he's been this bad, I told you the numbers in July, but over the past 2 outings, he hasn't even recorded an out. The fact that he's been this disastrous makes me think, okay, maybe Scott Harris views this, and not just the fact that they've lost 4 games in a row, but the way that they went, giving up 35 runs and 23 runs, just the bullpen giving up 23 runs of the 35 this weekend versus Seattle. Like, all right, maybe we need to not only add a couple arms here at the deadline, but really evaluate, do we trust anyone here? Do we need to add a handful of new arms here at the deadline and package some guys together in the farm system in order to add multiple arms, maybe multiple arms from one team, multiple arms from another team? I'm not going to be shocked if Scott Harris is like, we need an entire new bullpen, essentially. So That's everything that I've learned here from this weekend in Seattle. What about you? 989-837-6125. Kyle, I'll let you take the floor here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the fact that the Seattle team is exactly who we don't want to face. The Tigers don't want to face.
Mm-hmm.
Now, haven't really played Toronto since they've gotten red hot.
Yep.
Haven't played the Red Sox since they've got red hot. Haven't played Houston since they've taken this leap. That's kind of the part that not scares you. But I think it's interesting to see, okay, we've seen the Tigers now go up against a team that is playing good baseball. What does it look like when they play these other good teams? Is this just kind of they're easing their way into the break, trying to just get there and then regroup things and they'll be fine post-break? Or is this actually something to be concerned about? I do think that some Tigers fans were just taking we have an 11-14 game lead in the AL Central a little bit too close to heart. It's pretty easy to get comfortable in that situation.
Especially considering how bad the rest of the division is. It'd be completely different if you were playing in the West or the East.
Right. And I think that, it's okay to be comfortable because they're not going to lose the division. I know that someone brought up that thing earlier about the 11-game lead or whatever last year for Minnesota. That's not repeating. At least I don't think.
Safe to say, it's not going to repeat itself.
You can be comfortable, but also recognize, okay, now our priorities and needs have shifted. It's not to win the division. It's to beat all the other teams in the American League and beat up on all these other good teams. The division's bad. The rest of the league is getting better. And so I'm more interested to see how this Houston, Toronto, Boston series go post All-Star break. And if they don't go well and you don't make the moves necessary, then you can really start to fear a little bit of these top teams in the American League.
Someone said, let Baez play center field and get Meadows bum butt out of Detroit. Canely is like batting practice, just like Flaherty.
Hey, Flaherty, not a bad start.
Still wouldn't be opposed to adding another starter, though.
Of course. No one's disagreeing.
I would be opposed to adding another starter because, and then you get into a situation like you have 5 starters. Which one of these guys is getting cut for the deadline or cut for the playoff rotation? But I don't think that's a bad problem to have. Similar to the way that the Lions have always just we'll just keep adding competition for these guys. We'll add another receiver.
You likely don't have 5 really good starters anyways.
Right. And just let those 5 guys battle each other for who gets the 4 playoff spots, and then you can move one of them to the bullpen. And I think it's worth trying to go out there and get another starter. Because, again, not a great outing for Mize this weekend, even though he's an all-star. It feels like there's just a new standard for Jack Flaherty at this point, right? It's like the expectation's just completely different from what it was at the beginning of the season. Not that he's been, horrible, but he hasn't been a $25 million player. He's been a $10 million player. 989-837-6125. Stock Market Exchange. When we come back, hey, at Arid Insurance, they understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. They want to work personally with you to create something best suited for you in your life. Whether it's life, home, auto, fiscal, it's all available with Arid Insurance. The team's got over 100 years of combined experience. They know exactly how to put you in the best position possible. Experience matters. That's why Arid Insurance is the way to go. Like I said, Stock Market Exchange. When we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
The Great Lakes Loons are coming off 9 consecutive games at home, a homestand against the Whitecaps and the Lugnuts. Took 2 of 3 from West Michigan 2 weeks ago. Lansing took 4 of 6 from the Loons this past week, but still some great offensive performances, including Cameron Decker, who had 5 hits on the week, including 2 homers, 1 on Tuesday and 1 on Sunday. The lone Loons run on Sunday afternoon.
35-19.
As Decker swings, puts it in the air to deep left. Does he have another this week? Oh, yeah! Decker dinger in the 9th. Loons on the board, avoid getting shut out. It's the All-Star break, so the Loons won't be in action until Friday. They're out in Dayton, Ohio to take on the Dragons. First pitch, 7:05 on the Mitt.
Parents, summer is almost here. Do you have a plan? Keep your kids active, engaged, and having a blast at Greater Midland Summer Camps. Every day is a new adventure filled with games, sports, creative activities, and new friendships. Plus, new this year, our full-day camps are now at the Greater Midland Tennis Center. More space, more fun, and more memories to be made. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Secure your child's best summer ever today at greatermidland.org/camps.
Fueled by wonder and powered by science. At Dow, we're imagining better things for our customers and communities. It starts with our commitment to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Designing, building, and inspiring for the world around us. Because when we wonder, the things our world needs could be just one breakthrough away. That's Dow.
Hey parents, got a young athlete at home? Sign them up for the Greater Midland Try Kids Try Youth Triathlon, Saturday, July 19th at Plymouth Park in Midland. Kids ages 6 to 15 will swim, bike, and run their way through the finish line in a fun, supportive environment. And don't miss the mini TKT for ages 3 to 5 happening Friday, July 18th. Register now at greatermidland.org/races. That's greatermidland.org/races.
All fans on deck. It's Pontooners Weekend with the Great Lakes Loons. July 24th through 27th, presented by Sugar Springs Marine. Kick things off with our koozie giveaway and beer run on Thursday, with Yacht Rock on Friday. Saturday brings a bucket hat giveaway and a fireworks loontacular presented by Farm Bureau Insurance. The weekend wraps up with Super Splash Sunday and Meet the Team Day. For tickets, visit loons.com.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
The Ben Bosscher Show, powered by the Forward Corporation on 100.9 The Mitt.
All right, it's our favorite time of Monday. It is the Monday morning stock exchange.
You know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving. The stock market.
The show goes on.
All right, Kyle, it's buying, selling things from over the weekend after that weekend that we rated not so great in sports necessarily. My list today is mostly non-sports items.
Good, because I only have one non-sports thing. And I feel like usually mine are non-sports related because they're like super fun to do. But I have mostly sports ones today. I'm
going to start by selling stock. I'm selling Squid Game stock, man. That last season was
not good.
Not it. The finale, I mean, the last 40 minutes of it could have not existed and I would have been fine. Would have liked those 40 minutes back. Just kind of wrapping up characters, storylines that I did not care about, characters in which I did not care about. And then they teased like an American Squid Games, in which I was like, no, please don't do that. You're going to ruin something that was really, really fun there for a little bit. I'm selling my Squid Game stock. Real fun run.
Did you like when it was good?
I did.
The first couple seasons?
I liked the initial shock of it, and I didn't think they'd ever be able to replicate it. But then they did in season 2, like oh my God, I'm on the edge of my seat. I can't believe what I'm watching. And then season 3, but it was just all out the window by then. I didn't like it.
I never watched it. I also don't watch shows. I've made that kind of clear. So,
what are you buying? What are you selling? You're next.
Okay, I'll get right to it. I'm buying LeBron stock, man.
Yes.
Look, I know it doesn't make sense, right? He's 40. Why would you buy his stock? It's a perfect time to buy. That's why. I've been watching LeBron highlights more these last week than in my whole life.
Oh, yes.
Like, because, look, if this is his last year, I'm going to be so depressed in a LeBron-less league. So I need to get all the highlights in now. I've decided that Game 2 of the 2018 Eastern Conference semifinals against Toronto is my favorite LeBron performance.
Over Game 1 of the 2017 finals?
No, that's that same finals. But yeah, it's probably that, actually.
That whole 2017 run, 2017-2018 run to get to the finals, ugh, I'd watch it all day. All right, I'm buying stock on counting cards before you start playing poker.
You're buying stock.
I'm buying
that.
stock on. Hey, if you're listening down in the ticket office, you know why. I play poker for an hour and a half this weekend. I lose all my money to the people downstairs in the ticket office, only to find out that a king, a jack, a queen, and an ace were all stuffed under the table. I should have asked for my money back. Been chasing those cards all night. We were playing with 48 cards the whole time. Count your cards before you start playing poker. I'm doing that every time I ever play poker for the rest of my life. That was ridiculous. I was so mad on Saturday night.
Wow, that sounds,
Or Friday
sounds
night,
very
whenever that
interesting.
was.
Okay, I got a good sell. I'm selling stock on pool sharks. Listen,
Pool sharks?
I had a weird
What's
story.
a pool shark?
Yeah, these hustlers, bro. The people that just hang around the pool table waiting for a couple of scrubs to pull up, play, and then they throw down their money the second they start seeing how bad they are. AKA, me and my buddies, we're playing pool, right? It's my buddy's birthday. We go out to a local dive bar Saturday night, playing pool, 4 of us. We all suck at pool, man. We're just playing against each other because it's fun. These 2 old dudes sitting at the bar are just scouting, chirping us. And then they toss money on the table, and this dude is an absolute shark. Also hit the 8 ball in, though, so they lost, which was funny.
How much money did you win?
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
It's just,
sorry.
It's just annoying. Pool sharks, I'm out on them.
Pretty sure there was an entire Drake and Josh episode dedicated to this.
There was. The Hustlers, yes.
I'm selling my Klay Thompson stock. Klay Thompson's always been a guy who's...
Wow, with the Megan Thee Stallion stuff?
Yes.
Whoa.
He's always been Mr. It's me and my dog against the world, right? Focused on basketball. And now
This
he's
is so
he's
good.
going from that to dating the biggest female star in rap music, and he's posting it. He's going public with it. He's all over
This
social
is so
media
good.
right now, and it's like, no. You're supposed to be the guy. It's just you and your dog against the world. You're supposed to be the guy who's posting pictures of you in a captain's hat with your dog on the water. Now, instead of that, he's with one of the most public figures who's all over social media, who can't stay out of the news. I don't like it for Klay Thompson. Too much distractions
tough.
going into the season.
Shout out to Klay Thompson, though. That's a pull.
No. We're selling our Klay Thompson stuff.
I might buy.
Not the right time.
Save
Not
the rest
right
for
time.
later.
All right. That is the Monday morning stock exchange. We've got more to get to, specifically surrounding the likes of one Detroit Tiger who happens to be in what could be a lot more than just a slump. It is the Ben Bosscher Show, live on 100.9 The Mitt. Hey, YouTube stream's going to end just a little bit early, just so everyone knows. We'll be back.
The Ben Bosscher